make money, money making money, money making money, money making money, money making money, manifest, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. I ain't stressed, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. Gratitude is my attitude. I'm making money moves. Jewelry in the safe, piggy bank on full. And I'm living life abundant. I'm making money fast. I'm a money making magnet, making cold hard cash. I'm making money. Oh, I am blessed.
Welcome. This is Alchemizing Energy back at it once again. So I wanted to talk about this whole thing. When people want to come and create like their own little communities and this, that, the other, a lot of times it ends up in cult-like behavior. So what I wanted to do was to show a white cult called the Zizian cult. Now, the Zizian cult is a group of computer engineers, very intelligent human beings. And the reason why I wanted to bring this into play is because earlier I was talking about this return to the land. I know it seemed like a good idea, but I want to show like how like this could turn out. And I hope that, maybe some people that are thinking about this, can like see how a lot of times this stuff can get really, really dangerous. So this is the show I did earlier this year about the Zizian cult. See, I've done so many shows on my channel. I have almost 1,400 videos. Some of them just get buried, but I want to bring this back out. I don't even have to go very far to get my content. I have a lot of content on my own channel that I can revisit. So let's go into this. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this cult, but it is a cult of transgendered people, and they are not only a cult, just they're a vegan cult, but they are serial killers. They have killed over 6 people over the past I think like several years. And the latest killing was of a border patrol agent. They have been captured. I think there's still 2 on the run, but the leader of the Zizians, is this guy right here, this woman, I guess, Jack Ziz Lasota. And let's hear a little bit about this cult. Let's hear just a little snippet about this cult if you guys haven't heard of them before.
Of a cult-like group linked to multiple murders, 2 in Delaware County, are all being held without bail. Jack Lasota, Daniel Blank, and Michelle Zajko of Media appearing in a Maryland courtroom today. The judge citing concerns about the trio being a flight risk and a danger to the public. Investigators say they are members of a group called the Zizians or Zizians, tied to at least 6 homicides, including a U.S. Border Patrol agent in Vermont in January and Zajko's parents in Chester Heights in 2023. Authorities say Jack Lasota appears to be the leader of the group. The trio is facing numerous charges, including trespassing, obstructing and hindering, and possession of a gun.
Yeah.
Need the perfect voice.
So that is a little bit inside this cult. I hope everybody heard that. But yeah, that's this cult. It's called the Zizians, and its leader. So the crazy thing about this particular cult is the leader, he is a software engineer. He at one point was a intern at NASA. Most of the cult members are ex computer engineers. They're all from the Silicon Valley, and they decided to kind of get away from society. They started off on living on tugboats and living off the ocean, and then something happened to where the tugboats began to leak oil into the water, and so the national was it not the National Guard, but what's the military for the ocean? What is that? Whatever, I think it's the National Guard, whatever it is, the Sea Patrol, whatever. They kind of like they had to get them off of there, and the government like kind of uh, did like a lawsuit against them, and so they ended up leaving the tugboat and moving it onto the side of the on the dock of the of where the boats were. There's another older guy that owned a RV park, and so what they did was the Coast Guard. It's called the Coast Guard. Yeah, are you coming up, Mel? So like the coast, he's part of the Coast Guard, and I mean, sorry, the Coast Guard kicked them off of that area, and then so the next thing happened is they ended up leaving that area and going to like this like RV park where it was owned by an older gentleman. I'm gonna like play a little bit more about that whole thing. But it was owned by an older gentleman. Now, what happened is at some point they ended up taking a samurai sword and I guess stabbing the guy in the eye, and he ended up losing his eye. And I don't know what exactly happened again, but at some point they ended up cutting his throat and slaying this guy. I mean, it was just it's pretty gruesome. So let's go into this second video that I have. Okay, so Mel's gonna come up and talk about this because this is really I have never heard anything like this before in my life. This is like Manson on 10, okay? So like I said, they're extreme vegans. This cult is a group of extreme vegans. The leader really believes in like animal what's the thing, like saving the animals. He believes that animals are our best friend, but honey, he don't think that humans are our best friend because they were straight up getting offing people, you know what I'm saying, just left and right. And the craziest part is it seems like they kept getting let go of. Like they kept getting like the police would get them in custody and then they would let them out on bond. And they'd be on the run and all this other stuff. I mean, it's just interesting because we've had a couple of our cults in our community. And by the time, I mean, I think that the FBI was kind of following them and getting a lead on them because their whole like situation was just stretching across, their whole spree that they were doing. I mean, it went from San Francisco, like that Bay Area, all the way to Vermont. This whole spree of like, killings. So it's pretty gruesome how these people, what they were doing. So let me play this. This is a video that I did on this group to give you a little bit of context and background onto the group. You guys gotta excuse me, my voice is like, I'm like coming down with a cold, so my voice is really shaky, and I'm really just pushing out trying to do this live. I was gonna take a nap because my daughter, you know how it is. You want to get rid of a cold, you give it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And my daughter gave me the cooties, y'all. She gave me the straight up cooties, okay? And I've been over here struggling to talk and everything. Can't even talk, So let me see if I can like get this to show up on the screen. All right. Y'all see that? Let me see. I'm gonna move this. Okay, hold on. All right, let's go.
The making of a leader from rationality to radicalism. Jack Lesotho was once a name lost in the labyrinth of the internet. A 34-year-old transgender woman, Lesotho, known online as Ziz, had a background in computer science and a history with the rationalist movement. This group, dedicated to logic and evidence-based reasoning, seemed a far cry from the esoteric beliefs Lesotho would come to espouse. But the internet has a way of twisting and turning paths, and Lesotho's was no different. Lesotho's blog, a digital diary of sorts, chronicled this very transition. Early entries were steeped in the language of rationalism, tackling complex philosophical theories and technological advancements. Over time, a shift occurred. The posts became increasingly esoteric, laced with disillusionment towards humanity and cryptic pronouncements about a new world order. This marked the genesis of the Zizian group, a tight-knit circle of individuals drawn to Lesotho's increasingly radical ideology. The rationalist community, once a space of intellectual exploration for Lesotho, became a battleground. In 2019, Lesotho and several followers were arrested during a protest against a prominent rationalist organization. The charges were minor, a blip on the radar of what was to come, but it foreshadowed the escalating conflict between Lesotho's evolving beliefs and the world she sought to reshape. This incident, however, was just the tip of the iceberg. Lesotho's digital footprint, once a trail of intellectual curiosity, was morphing into something more sinister. The blog, once a space for philosophical debate, became a platform for pronouncements that bordered on the unhinged. The line between rational thought and radical ideology was blurring, and Lesotho was leading the charge. Inside the Zizian maze, beliefs and justifications. The Zizian ideology is a tangled web woven from threads of veganism, anarchism, and a deep-seated distrust of authority. At its core lies a distorted interpretation of rationalism, warped to justify increasingly illegal and violent actions. Lesotho's blog posts became increasingly unhinged, riddled with cryptic pronouncements about a new world order. She preached a gospel of personal liberation through radical action, casting aside societal norms and embracing a dangerous brand of self-righteousness. This radical shift was not a sudden leap, but a gradual descent into an abyss of their own making. The group's online presence, initially a forum for sharing vegan recipes and discussing philosophical concepts, morphed into an echo chamber of extremism. They developed their own language, a lexicon of coded messages and insider jargon that further isolated them from the outside world. Their justifications for violence stemmed from a dangerous cocktail of self-importance and a warped sense of justice. They saw themselves as revolutionaries, crusaders fighting against a corrupt system. Any action, no matter how heinous, could be rationalized as a necessary step towards achieving their warped vision of a better world. The group's ideology, however, remained frustratingly nebulous, a constantly shifting kaleidoscope of conspiracy theories, esoteric symbolism, and radical pronouncements. Their actions often seemed contradictory, lacking a clear and consistent motive. Were they driven by a desire for chaos, a thirst for power, or were they simply lost souls, grasping for meaning in a world that had left them behind? The answer, like the group itself, remained frustratingly elusive. A trail of violence, crimes, and casualties. The year 2022 marked a turning point in the Zizians' trajectory, their digital radicalism spilling into real-world violence. A false obituary for Lesotho surfaced online, a macabre publicity stunt that only deepened the mystery surrounding the group. They resurfaced in Vallejo, California, taking up residence on a property owned by Curtis Lind. A dispute over rent escalated into a violent confrontation, leaving Lind stabbed and Zizian member Emma Borhanian dead. As the investigation into the Vallejo incident unfolded, a chilling pattern of violence began to emerge. Richard and Rita Zajko, parents of Zizian member Michelle Zajko, were found shot dead in their Pennsylvania home. The connection to the Zizians was undeniable. Lesotho herself was charged with obstruction and disorderly conduct in relation to the Zajko murders, further solidifying the group's association with violence. The violence escalated in January 2025, with the murder of Curtis Lind in Vallejo. Zizian member Maximilian Snyder was charged with the crime, allegedly silencing Lind to prevent his testimony against the group. Days later, U.S. Border Patrol agent David Malland was killed in a shootout with Zizian's Teresa Youngblood and Felix Barkholt, known as Ophelia, in Vermont. Barkholt was also killed in the exchange. The gun used was traced back to Michelle Zajko, further implicating the Zizians in a web of violence that stretched across state lines. This string of violent incidents left investigators baffled. The seemingly random nature of the attacks, coupled with the group's opaque ideology, made it difficult to establish a clear motive. Were these acts of retribution, desperate attempts to protect their leader, or were they simply expressions of the group's nihilistic worldview, a belief that violence was the only logical response to a world spiraling towards chaos? Unmasking the cult motivations, experts, and legal battles. The Zizians, with their charismatic leader, esoteric beliefs, and growing list of alleged crimes, ticked all the boxes of a cult. Cult expert Pulomi Saha, commenting on the case, noted the group's unorthodox viewpoints and Lesoto's hold over her followers as hallmarks of cult dynamics. The Zizians fit the profile, Saha remarked, but their motivations remain shrouded in mystery. Jessica Taylor, an AI researcher familiar with some Zizian members from her time in the rationalist movement, offered a different perspective. They were drawn to the idea of rationality, Taylor explained, but somewhere along the way those beliefs became twisted, used to justify the unjustifiable. This distortion of logic, she argued, was key to understanding the group's descent into violence. In February 2025, Lesotho, along with Michelle Zaiko and Daniel Blank, were apprehended in Maryland for trespassing, obstruction, and weapons violations. Lesotho's lawyer, Daniel McGarrigle, urged the public to avoid speculation and premature conclusions, maintaining his client's innocence. However, with several Zizian members either incarcerated or awaiting trial for a litany of crimes, the group's future seemed bleak. The Zizians, once a fringe group operating in the shadowy corners of the internet, had become a subject of national attention. Their story served as a chilling reminder of the dark side of online radicalization, where fringe beliefs can fester and ultimately erupt into real-world violence. The question remained, what drove this group of individuals to such extremes? The answer, much like the group itself, remained shrouded in mystery, a puzzle yet to be fully pieced together.
So I really when I put this whole thing together, this was back, I would say maybe 3 months ago or more, when I talked about the Zizian call. But it rings so true, right? What's happening right now. Can you guys hear me? Hold on. It rings so true what's happening now, even with this current day situation with this new group with the return to the land, right? So you have this whole group of people that are so-called returning to the land. You have like the whole Donald Trump situation. You have these people that are like, returning to the land. They we're trying to get away from all the niggas, and we just trying to like have our own place, and we have our 160-acre place that ain't got nothing going on yet but one house on top of it. The issue is that this is the beginnings of a cult. And I want anyone that does not know that this is the beginnings of a cult to really understand that that's what it is. They have one charismatic leader that's talking about the whites only community. You have a bunch of people that go out there into the middle of the woods, and he's talking about know this, know that, exclusivity. They're isolated. They're eating on lunch tables and all this other stuff. The issue is that all this stuff really reeks cult to me, And so I'm showing this Zizian cult as another example of how this thing could go left, okay? So let's go into what happened with this particular cult, the Zizians. All right, let's go. Exactly is going on with them. Let's get into this news story right here that kind of explains it as it was actually going on.
How is a murder in Vallejo connected to the killing of a Border Patrol agent in Vermont, an elderly couple in Pennsylvania, and a fringe group in the Bay Area? I've been working with my colleagues at the Chronicle to make it all make sense for you. Let's go back to November 2019. A radical offshoot of the rationalist movement called the Zizians staged a protest against the Center for Applied Rationality while dressed in black robes and Guy Fawkes masks. Ziz, the group leader, who's also known as Jack Lesotho, and 3 associates were arrested: Emma Borhanian, Gwen Danielson, and Alexander Leatham. Fast forward almost 2 years, Ziz and the associates file a federal lawsuit against Sonoma County, Westminster Woods, and the 2 deputies. They say they were wrongly arrested, abused, assaulted, and mocked for being transgender. In August of 2022, Ziz allegedly dies in a boating accident in San Francisco Bay, according to an obituary in a Fairbanks, Alaska newspaper. Then in November, Leatham, Borhanian, and Dow allegedly attack their Vallejo landlord, Curtis Lind, with one impaling him with a samurai sword through his chest. Lind shoots 2 of his assailants, killing Borhanian. Lind survives the attack, but is left blind in one eye. Leatham and Dow are charged with murder and attempted murder. A few months later, in Chester Heights, Pennsylvania, Richard Zatko and his wife Rita are found shot to death in their home. And Jack Lasota, the namesake of the Zizian movement, was arrested in the state as police investigated that crime, indicating that Ziz was actually very much alive. Remember the federal lawsuit Ziz filed in 2021? That's now dismissed because the plaintiffs are unwilling to pursue further action. In November of last year, Teresa Youngblood and Maximilian Snyder applied for a marriage license in Washington state. It's unclear if they ever got married. The couple went to high school together in Seattle and studied computer science at prestigious universities. We'll get back to them in a second. On January 17th, 2025, Curtis Lind, the Vallejo landlord, is attacked and stabbed yet again. This time, Lind dies from his injuries. We talked to a man who works at an auto body shop across the street from where the crime happened. Here's what he said of the gruesome killing.
El señor, Mr. Curtis, se bajó de su carro y él llegó y lo abrazó por atrás y lo empezó a apuñalar. Algunos muchachos vieron y trataron de ayudarle y el muchacho se regresó nuevamente a seguirlo apuñalando y le cortó el cuello.
Lind was set to provide.
So the guy was fixing his car. The guy stabbed him. He continued to stab him and slit his throat. That's what the guy said in Spanish. Now, this is the thing. As you can see, in this case, no one gets charged adequately for murdering and stabbing and all these different, crimes. And this is the very thing that people are not realizing. When white people do a crime, they don't get charged. And then this guy that's starting this other cult is well known now. He's getting more and more well known. And as time goes on, he's gonna have a certain immunity. This is a small cult. Imagine what happens if this cult grows and then they get to hurting people and this, that, the other. They're going to be able to get dismissed from a lot of crime if they decide to go out and do this. But the thing is that a lot of times these kind of groups end up being and doing stuff like this.
Key testimony in the upcoming trial against his 2019 attackers. On January 20th, Youngblood, the supposed newlywed, and a German national, Felix Baukholt, also known as Ophelia, are driving near the Vermont-Canada border. They're pulled over for an immigration check. Youngblood allegedly shoots an officer and a shootout ensues. Border agent David Mayland and Baukholt are killed. Youngblood is arrested and faces 2 weapons charges. Investigators say Youngblood had been in frequent contact with a person of interest in the Vallejo murder case, who had also been detained in the Pennsylvania double homicide. The day after the border shootout, an alert is issued calling Michelle Zatko a person of interest in the killing of border agent Mayland and seeks info on Zatko's purchase of firearms. Michelle is also listed in another law enforcement bulletin as a person of interest in the Pennsylvania double slaying. Michelle's name is listed on legal notices regarding the estates of Richard and Rita. Maximilian Snyder, meanwhile, is arrested by Vallejo police in Reading. He's a suspect in the Lynn murder. He's booked in Solano County Jail without.
I'm sorry. This is insane. What? Are y'all listening to this? Now, the reason why I wanted to cover this about this cult is because, we have different cults that I've heard. I have never heard of such a thing. I mean, these people are excessively violent. You understand me? Get pulled over by the police and just start busting. I mean, the dude, they hit him with a samurai sword in the chest. He tased the girl. They come back, slit his throat. You understand what I'm saying? How violent you have to be to execute something so extreme. And these people, I don't see how they were able to make it. Now, the part that's baffling me is now that even as we speak today and we're going through this case, do you know that the biggest part of that people are starting to talk about is the fact that people are getting misgendered because they're a transgender cult, and and the transgender community is getting behind this whole situation, and they have a problem with the fact that certain members were getting misgendered in the actual news and when they covered this.
Wow. So instead of hello everybody, and what's poppin', Genesis? Thank you for
Hey,
having me.
hey, how's it going?
It's child. You put me on to something new right here. I was like, what in the world is this? Just when you thought you heard it all, I said this a new cult, and I'm like, out of everything they got going on, they really are complaining about misgendering them. They're not worried about the acts of violence that they're doing, and you know what I'm saying, just running the whole crime ring around around the country. That's crazy.
But the thing is it's so random. It's not like it even makes any sense what these
Right.
are
Like
things are for. Like what for?
right,
what
like
are we
what's their
doing?
premise? Right, like what's their premise? What's their mission? I don't know. It's giving a ball of confusion just to spread violence. But I'm learning, so I'm listening. As you're playing the video, I'm listening so I can learn for myself, so I can try to get try to get somewhat of a better understanding for this code, because I've never heard of them before.
So I want to also make a point that this is the older video that I have, but I wanted to show the fact that with all these murders going on, like no one has been charged with murder yet. And I want to show that. So this is in January of 2025, right? That I did this report. Now you have a new cult popping up, and if they decide to go on a killing spree, you see how like they are slow to charge people. Like it's very dangerous when you have groups of people coming together and calling themselves a group, and next thing you know they're a cult and they have one leader. So in the Zizians, I think the guy, I think he's even still running out here or not. I'm not even sure if he's even still gotten arrested yet or not. This is the type of thing that's crazy. He didn't disappear. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. Hey, how's it going, Torian? How's it going? But yeah, yeah. So basically, they're a part of this thing called the rationalist movement. I've just now heard of
Okay.
this. I never knew this even existed. Right.
Okay.
So there's a movement called the rationalist movement, and they're also extreme vegan. So I think they are. When they say extreme veganism, I'm thinking like PETA level vegans. Okay.
Right,
I
right.
think that
Throw the
they
paint
would be
on the
the
coat.
ones throwing
Yeah.
paint on people if you have
On
a
the fur
letter
coat and all that. Right,
background.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and they're involved with protests. Like it's just they're just really just involved with a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
Now, even though you have this Maximilian Snyder, I think that Maximilian might be a transgender woman turned into a man. What do you say when a woman is a transgender male?
What were they born male?
They were born a woman but turned into a man as a man.
I believe they're trans male.
Yeah, so she's a trans male, and then she was
Right.
marrying a trans
Female.
female. Okay.
Okay.
So this the whole cult is transgender.
And well, I mean, okay, no judgment. This a trigger warning. This is a no judgment zone. I'm just me personally. I don't get the transitioning, because then you're just going back to what you were. Aren't you attracted to what you were in the first place? Technically.
I just want to I want people to take a look at these transgender.
That's wild. That's wild. First of all, they don't even like they transitioning. They just look like a bunch of men with long hair. Sorry to say it.
I don't, man.
I think, and not to be funny, maybe they're just, I mean, they could be hiding behind the guise of the LGBTQ plus community, that, you know what I mean, maybe to get some defense or an out of some sort, or some type of support, possibly. I don't know. But they don't look they don't like their transitioning to me. But who am I to judge?
Man, I'm like, oh, these people, man. Well, if I saw them, like
Right.
they look like they, man. I don't know where they came from or
Right.
what.
I would not, and again, not to judge a book by its cover, but just looking at them, just the aesthetic first glance, I'm not thinking transgender. I'm thinking maybe rocker, like Marilyn Manson, like that whole emo move, like that whole situation. I don't know what that's called.
Yes, like
Like
the
a-
emo, the gothic
like
industrial.
the gothic, that whole gothic era. I'm thinking that because I went to high school with with that whole gothic. They wore all black. They painted their nails black. Everything was black. Everything was dark. So I get that more from them than transgender. I'm not even being funny. What's
Right.
going on, Red? What's popping?
And so
Welcome,
there's
everybody.
they have this thing. It's called the what's it called? The rationalist movement. So these people are very highly intelligent. Zizzy and his self, or Ziza, whatever his name is, Zizzy or whatever.
Okay.
He-
So this is actually a person. The Zizian. He's actually
Yeah, that
actually a
he's the
person.
he.
Okay,
Yeah. He's actually.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
some like Jim Jones and that whole movement.
yes,
And,
that is what they're comparing it to. They're
okay, and
comparing.
Elijah Bishop and all of that. Okay, so every cult has its leader and has a. Okay, I got you.
Right. So this particular guy basically started off with this whole cult. It started off as a blog, and was, and his thoughts, and he was really into Star Wars and the Sith Lord and all kind of crazy stuff. Like these people are like World of Warcraft level nerds. Okay, like you can see them playing World of Warcraft.
Right, and then like really,
collecting Star Wars figures. You know what I'm saying?
and then bringing it into real life. Gotcha.
Right. And they're very highly intelligent. They sit around. Welcome to the stage, Zion. So I'm reviewing an older video I did because I'm really trying to tie in this whole thing with the return to the land, because I really believe this whole return to the land is the budding of a new cult. So I'm showing in this live how, like, these cults start up, and how they can turn into be like death cults, like start to like,
right.
become,
That's one of my big slogans when I started debating was the cult killer. So I'm really big on studying cult behavior. I'm huge on studying cult behavior.
Uh-oh. I lost him. Okay. Well, he'll come back. I think we lost your connection. Okay. Well, we'll just continue on from where we left off at. But yeah, like it's cult behavior. Like this whole thing with this return to the land is just the beginning of something that could turn out to be this. And I have a feeling. That that what's happening with this group right here, this return to the land, is going to turn into something almost similar to the Zizian cult, because it's like a bunch of like really intelligent people coming together trying to go back to the land. They had the same concept. So many concepts of white people doing this.
Which land are they going back to Africa? I'm sorry, I can't come off my. If I come off my my camera and try to put my camera on, something's acting up right now, so I might have to restart my computer. But what is this cult that you're talking about?
Okay, so there's two different groups. Okay, so there is the thing called the Return to the Land. I'm gonna play this video for you so you can get like.
This is South Africa? This is not South Africa, is it?
This is in America. I'm gonna play it for you.
Oh, really?
And then I'm gonna show you the Zizian cult, because I believe that is probably where they're gonna end up heading towards. Okay, so because I believe this is a cult. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
Speed up a little bit because I was all night going through this whole thing. So
yeah, no, go ahead, because this is my field. This is another one of my angles right here.
Over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites only place.
White American culture.
Over the last year and a half, high up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, leveling the land, building houses. They call it an intentional community based around shared ancestry, a long-winded way of saying something really quite simple.
I think we would generally be called far right, sure.
It's called Return to the Land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be, why are you making Nazi references?
Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A seemingly bucolic and sometimes surreal experience. But this is built on a radical modern premise, made possible because because of a new political and technological moment. One with strong ties to the most active far-right groups in the US. Instead of taking to the streets, they are building their own for generations to come.
It's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
But in this southern US state, people who have lived through segregation once fear it is returning.
When you hear things like that, it causes you to be fearful and you don't know who to trust.
Its founder says he is building a fortress for the white race.
It's a racial association. I kind of want to ask you, after seeing this, do you think what we're doing is immoral?
Arkansas, in the southern United States.
Welcome to Little Rock, where the local time is 4:27.
For the last few years, I've been exploring how an ethno-nationalist movement has been organizing online, a network that aims to define countries by ethnicity, but which links across borders. And this is the place that one group has chosen to put that into radical, real-world action.
You want a white nation? Build a white town. It can be done, and we're doing it.
It is an extreme view, but it draws on more familiar arguments. That mass immigration is out of control, that Western societies are in danger of losing their fundamental character as a result.
One of the arguments here is that this isn't about persecution of an ethnic identity, but protection of an ethnic identity, and that identity happens to be white. So we're going here now up into these pretty remote woods to really put that to the test.
We are driving deep into the Ozark Mountains. The group's leaders are not from Arkansas, and they've chosen these remote parts for a reason. All the locals I spoke to knew only a little about the group, if anything.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's not my choice.
Yeah, but do you think they should have the freedom to do it?
That's what they want to do. I think it's kind of a little fishy around here, but just be safe.
The leader of the group is called Eric Orr, and he's invited me to spend a few days with them.
Hey, Eric.
He insists what he is doing here is entirely legal.
You say
And that's
stop
key,
it.
because if it is, it could be a blueprint for many other communities.
No, I'm still listening.
Thank you very much.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites only place.
White American culture. Yeah, not just white, but white American.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I mean, it's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
They are being kept captives.
You don't let everyone into your home.
160 acres taking shape, forest cleared, roads laid, cabins built. Around 40 people live here. Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members. And I'm intrigued to find out what motivates people to give up their old lives for this.
We met here.
Oh, you met here? I guess you came here.
I met here on like day 3.
Oh my God, what a story. It beats Tinder, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
David and Caitlin not only met here, they got married last month. They wouldn't be here without social media.
Somebody had posted a video of Eric.
Yeah.
I saw videos of them actually building stuff on the land. I was like, oh man, I gotta come check this out.
I figure if there's nothing else like this in the country, it should at least exist.
Yeah.
Do people really think that we should never be able to choose our neighbors?
It wouldn't be controversial for any other racial group to do the same thing.
I think it'd be quite controversial.
Well, if you don't have rules against it, then, anyone of any race can come and be your neighbor, and they're watching the news, which is telling you that white people are, the cause of all your problems and all the ills of society, and suddenly, your children are much less safe because there's a lot of violence, anti-white violence happening to white people and white children, and so
specifically.
Oh my God!
What sort of things the heavens about there?
Yeah.
I'd like to continue talking.
Man.
Oh God. Yo, listen. The most violence against white people is done by white people.
I know, and I did a show about that earlier last night.
Look at Karen Reed trial, and then look at what's her name? The freaking daggone the chick who killed the 2 children, and then the husband, the ex-husband and ex-wife had them killed. She got 7 freaking daggone charges against her. The most violence against white people is done by white people. Look at the dude who just killed the freaking people over in Iowa. He's a white dude who wanted to be freaking like he wanted to be like the serial killer. What's his name? Freaking daggone. Oh my God, bro. These dudes are killing each other by the numbers.
Yeah.
For freaking little more than custody and insurance money.
Oh, I know. But see, this is who they're getting their information from.
This is wild, yo. This is crazy. And this is what I'm talking about with these cults.
Hold on, watch this.
Shame. I really do
Go
believe.
ahead, go ahead.
I think black people are not irredeemable, but there just needs to be brutal honesty. It's like, look, these black people are really struggling and they're turning into these maniacs. It seems like they don't do anything right. They're obnoxious, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, aggressive, cruel. And, you know, look, nobody.
Oh my God. Really?
If there are people like that, I think that's exceedingly rare. And I don't consider myself one of them. The reason that people have negative attitudes about black people is because most people's interactions with black people are negative.
I'm about to start twitching right now.
Most people's interactions with black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder. And you say, what the fuck? You're not supposed to do that. If everybody did that, it would just be another lane. And, you know, not everybody can do that. But it's like these people have no respect for decorum. They think the rules don't apply to them. They have no respect for society. Like that's their interaction is they are a waiter and they wait on a black table and the black people don't tip and they're fucking rude. Like that's most people's interactions. It's stuff like that. They go to the DMV and they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person's rude. Now, it just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. That people don't, it's unpleasant. People want to be treated with consideration and respect. And it is true that black people are, in this day and age, unfortunately, seem to have very low moral character. It's not even just the violence, although the violence is pretty striking. If you live your life and you know that you're going to be mugged by black people, it kind of colors your opinion.
See, this is where they're getting their data from. They're getting data from people like Nick Fuentes. So you have a person like Nick Fuentes in the media that's pushing this bullshit, and then they go and create a whole town, and they're thinking to be victimized by their own.
But we'll not talk about how black people are treated by the white people, even on the job. You know what I'm saying? White people will go freaking postal if they get treated like black people are treated.
Mm-hmm.
On a 9-to-5, in a regular job, we come back with freaking daggone cortisol levels out the rooftops because we have to deal with white supremacy, white freaking arrogance. Right? Yeah. So stress levels go through the rooftop. But somehow he's talking about us being rude. Man. You got these motherfuckers goddamn coming over and snatching your fucking goddamn plate when you're at a table at a goddamn restaurant and mistreating you as an African American because you're an African American and their favorite daggone freaking what's that shit, Fridays.
Yeah.
But then when we pop the fuck off, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah.
And really, you fucking pasty.
He's
you
not
freckle back, big face.
But hold on. Listen, he is a Spaniard. He's not even all the way white. His last name is Fuentes, bro.
Yo, what's up, Sadaya Ben Yah? Oh, don't get me on this. Man.
Perception of black people.
Do not get me on.
If 99% of the carjackings and stabbings and shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people, when you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people. And you equate that with danger. And it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And we just want black people to take accountability and say, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's negative. And sometimes extremely negative, like I could get a gun in my face. You know, That's a problem. And people go, well, you are just loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. I'm a really polite, friendly person. I give everybody a chance. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive, and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that. And people go, and these
that's
black people
called
go, well,
white
you
fragility.
racist. It's like, no, I just hate.
That's no.
inconsiderate
That's
behavior.
called. Hold on. Let's pause right there. That's called white fragility. They want to be comfortable calling us boys. They want to be comfortable calling sisters all kind of names. They want to feel comfortable doing that. And then when we freaking react, now we're the bad person. Because we won't let you act like a Uncle Tom ass freaking, you know what I'm saying, enslaver and treat us any old kind of way. A Karen ass, bitch ass, fucking cracker. You want to talk to us all kinds of slanted. And then when we slap the shit out of you, now we're the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Now when we slap you with the motherfucking folding chair, now we're the bad guy.
And see,
now you're in fear for your life because you couldn't call me a boy because I look younger than you, and you 30 something, and I'm 50 something. And I look younger than your pasty ass, freckle back, pathological pig man. And you couldn't talk to me sideways. Now you're in fear for your life. We're not doing that.
And here's the thing. So I showed you the cults. I show you where they get their rhetoric from.
If black people were,
and then I'm gonna show you other cults and how this whole like ideology and where how extreme it can get to. So let's go.
We're super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say black people, oh yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir? Please come right on in. Man, what a relief to see you here. You're a sight for sore eyes. If black people are known for being the best, then we would be racist in the other direction. Oh, finally. So yeah, that really bothers me. It just bothers me in this damn ass city because that's all it is in Chicago is just these black people who can never take accountability. It's always somebody else's fault.
And so
why do you always bring me in the shit that gets me ready to fucking goddamn pop a motherfucking blood vessel?
I'm sorry, but this is what's going on. I'm sorry. Like, so
anytime I come on your show, I be ready to motherfucking goddamn.
So now you know where he gets this whole thing. Well, the black people are gonna attack us.
All your problems and all the ills of society, and suddenly, you know, your children are much less safe because there's a lot of violence, anti-white violence happening to white people and white children, and so specifically
a lot of anti-white violence happening to white children and white people. I have never heard of this, but okay.
By racism against white people. What sort of things? The heavens are about to.
Yeah. I'd like to continue talking. The rain starts and it comes down hard. The residents shelter in their cabins and night falls. The next morning.
Can I just say something real quick?
Is how the average.
Go ahead.
Black people love babies. Black people love babies. It don't matter what race. Black people will cover that child. When these motherfuckers just mess the fuck out, bending over backwards because they're on some fucking kind of ketamines and fucking goddamn methamphetamines and opioids, and they children is over there looking dusty and fucked up and hungry. Who picked their babies up? Niggas.
Yeah.
We pick them babies up quick. We don't give a fuck about no color when it comes to babies. How dare you? Y'all niggas be raping your own children. And we be the ones that tell on your fucking punk ass. But you somehow you got a problem with black folk. Are you serious? Go ahead.
Yeah, so they need a whole town to themselves. But I'm like, bro, there's called the Sundown Town. They've been had these towns. I said to them, listen, y'all look like y'all having a hard time building these towns. Look at what they do. Watch how they build the town. I'm like, bro, y'all don't even know what the hell y'all doing. Y'all are not.
Weekend works at Return to the Land, or RTTL, what they call a work party, made up of residents, but also new recruits who have come to check out the project. It is hot, hard work. To join RTTL, you have to sign up to the Private Members Association, or PMA. There are strict criteria for membership, as Scott Thomas, a board member and one of the founding fathers here, explains.
You have to be a PMA member to live here.
Yeah.
So you have to be someone of European heritage.
The group's logo, based on a Nordic rune, draws on that heritage. It is the PMA that the group believes makes this all legal. Once members have been vetted on ethnicity and other grounds, they can buy shares in the Limited Liability Company, or LLC. Those shares translate to acres of land that they can build on. Peter Seri is the brains behind the legal side of things.
Civil Rights Act is there for a reason, and this is a way around it.
Yeah.
Do you think that's provide contact with the legal system, the courts, if it came to that?
Hopefully.
Do you think it's racist or not? Do you reject that term? Do you embrace it?
I don't know about that term. I mean, people use it in a lot of different ways. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the internet who would call me racist. I don't really know or care whether that term applies to me or not. Maybe.
So what do you think?
Honey, it's taking them forever. They're not going to be able to build that fucking. Look at this shit that they're doing. Come on, I don't care if they're racist or not.
Identity politics.
Look at this bullshit.
And what they're building
Well,
here
they need
is a
some
safe
niggas
space
over there to
for people
fucking
of
goddamn
European
hammer some nails.
It's exclusionary. It's sort of an attempt at segregation.
Right.
Motherfucking goddamn punk ass motherfuckers couldn't build a motherfucking White House without motherfucking Benjamin Banneker, but now they want to build a city.
Children who live in a home school here
What was she?
for people of European
Watch
ancestry.
this. She coming up there.
It's exclusionary.
Look, so they trying to build some houses and stuff. What is this?
Fuck
bullshit?
out of here. That's why they gave it to us, though.
It
wasn't stupid.
Some
Black
black
folk.
people would have had that shit.
They knew that niggas was going to fucking goddamn turn they shit into fucking havens.
Child.
It's sort of an attempt at segregation.
Right.
Is that fair?
Probably.
So what is she doing? She walking. She got some flowers in the a fucking Ozarka bottle. Not even flowers, like Ozarka bottle. And she walking like she doing something. Like what are you doing? What is the Ozarka
Ain't
bottle?
doing shit.
What is this? What's going on here? She done grabbed some weeds and stuff out the woods, and now she walking back like she about to.
While the men labour at the roadside, the women of Return to the Land are at work too, looking after the 6 children who live and are homeschooled here full time. And they're preparing food for the weekly community dinner. The theme tonight.
Now watch
Lonely.
this. I know dinner's really important. I like feeding people, so I didn't want to put this off any longer than I already have.
Ain't no vegetables in there, just meat. I don't know whether she was gathering some.
And I guarantee you she didn't cook it that well, because I'm telling you, it was still pink when they started eating it.
Man, look at this. I bet you that was turn it over on one side.
No, I don't see not a seasoning on that motherfucker. Not one. I mean, I guess if she tossed some raisins in that motherfucker. God damn, why don't I see no freckles on that bitch?
Man, and that's not enough for everybody.
No seasoning. Not a onion, not a slice of garlic.
Nothing.
Just,
No kind of
pink meat. Just meat. How dare you? Pathological pasties.
And I'm still like looking like, okay, that's supposed to feed everybody. Though this little bit of meat right here, that's supposed to feed everybody up in there. 40 people. You need to have a big old pot of some shit you're gonna feed everybody. What is that gonna do? That ain't feed.
Yo, you know black folks know how to make a pot of motherfucking goddamn stew, yo.
Right.
And that shit'll last a whole fucking week. These niggas over here with this motherfucking goddamn freckleback motherfucking pathological pasty fucking goddamn pieces of fucking pork just sitting there in the oil.
Yeah, it's still bleeding. That shit, whatever that is.
Still bleeding, yo. That shit is still mooing, yo. Are you serious? That's why they had their babies sucking off the titties of our fucking goddamn ancestors.
Bro, because that whatever she cooking is not gonna be. That
don't even look right. It don't even look right to me. It don't even look right.
Listen.
Even look right.
Man, if you are watching this, get some onions and put some greens.
Yeah, throw something in there, man. That shit.
Go into the woods and grab some whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Season that motherfucker.
What the hell that lady had in her hand? Just throw that bullshit.
What the fuck is going on here? What in the hell? What the helly?
Back in the day, when we first got the land here, there were only about 5 guys. I was living 40 minutes from here, and Jennifer was the first family to be on the land full time. So we started community dinners back then. And it'd be pretty relaxed because there weren't many people, but it is nice. It's slowly growing. So.
Maybe she was making it for the dog. Maybe it was dog food.
They be eating right out of the
here today
same
for a
ice
variety of
cream jars.
reasons.
Dog
The
looking at
dedication to the
shit.
mission
Come on,
is
baby. We
absolute.
done seen that video.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I. I'm 32.
Cool.
I'm a lady.
My name's Allison, A-L-I-S-O-N. I'm 29.
Right.
And Caitlin, C-A-I-T-L-I-N. I'm 31.
And I put raisins in everything.
Understanding of what's happening here.
Yeah.
This is their girlfriends and stuff. Look, I'm like, I know.
My name is Helen, and I put raisins in everything.
Honey, listen, I cook things halfway through. But no.
She look like, wait, look at the psychosis in her eyeballs right now.
Yeah, I said
the psychosis.
She is on the spectrum or
the
something.
psychosis is real. Look at her eyes. I wouldn't even trust her if I was a white boy. She'd stab you up in the middle of the night.
Psychosis in her eyes.
The biggest misunderstanding.
Well, that we hate everyone else.
Like she went to sleep ever, and then she ain't washed. She got greasy.
She's been drinking coffee for the last fucking 92 hours. No sleep.
Her hair is just greasy, like she just put like a whole bunch of like fucking blue magic in her hair.
Don't give a shit. She don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's not about that.
Yeah,
by any means.
it's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter argument would be you can be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. If other people are allowed to do it, I don't really.
Are
see
these
why
the same?
it's not allowed to do it.
Are these wives of the same?
The goal is
dude?
to have lots of these communities.
I don't know. No, it's different women that have joined these three.
Okay, so they
I
have
don't know,
different.
like-
They have different husbands.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't even know if they got husbands. I think they just went and joined the group.
Oh God.
Right. So only 3 women, and then one woman got like 6 kids by herself, or some kind of crazy thing. It's a whole thing.
There's a David Koresh tapping all 3 of them cheeks. See, there was a recent case that just happened. And I'll pull it up when I have to find the name of it. The recent case where there was these white Israelite group that claimed to be from David's house and the whole nine. And the woman who was in there, she had those crazy eyes, just like that one chick. And she killed the baby, murdered the child, and tried to act like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, there's so many that I can bring up, but they want to talk about black folk. They want to talk about black folk. This is madness. Yeah. Go ahead. Press play.
I tell you, like this is.
If I pull up half the cases of cult of the Mormon, the Mormon chick that just got fucking locked up
Can
and
you
just
is
barely
this
freaking.
not a cult though? Is this not a cult in your eyes?
No, this is a cult.
Thank you. I
They over
know
here sitting on the stump. Like, come on, dude. This is a cult.
she like she ain't took a bath in 3 days. They trying to be dressed up like thing is weird, you know. She trying to cook some food. I'm like, bro, I would not eat no food. Go take a bath, man.
Nah, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Go
trust it.
watch. You know what I'm saying? Go take a shower.
What you say, D-Cop?
Cities on the same basis, right?
Yeah, that would.
Right. Look at her. Look at her. She ain't been sleep. Like look at her eyes. They look real.
Yeah, no, yeah, she looked drugged. She looked drugged the fuck out.
There's something going on.
It'd be neat. I look forward to seeing how this movement grows over time.
There are other ways to increase numbers. Nikki, Caitlin, and Alison all met their partners at the community. And RTTL is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivize population growth. Just before we arrived, they had donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child.
Is that part of the mission as well, to sort of have big families, to make the community bigger? Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't think so. I don't feel particularly myself. I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you really want to, as part of helping grow this thing, that you're going to have kids.
I think the girl with the hat on must
There's
be
not a lot
the
shown around
main.
here. I basically just have the whole pasture area.
Peter is unattached.
Oh, she
This
running
is
shit.
his homestead. He's been on a journey. He told me he used to be a liberal, a hippie even.
The knife is a tool. It has to be very sharp in order to cut properly.
He founded a commune in Ecuador, an intentional community based not on ethnicity, but veganism.
So this is your lot?
Yeah.
He's also immersed in internet culture, someone who delights in provoking reactions, a troll. On the group chat on the messaging app Telegram, he's posted the numbers 1488. The 14 refers to the 14 words, a white supremacist slogan. And H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So 88 means HH, which means Heil Hitler.
Because you put that in the Telegram, for instance. What does that mean when you place that in Telegram 1488?
Well, I use it as kind of like a funny comment, throwback.
As part of that Nazi discussion, another frequent topic on the online chat is the Holocaust. Usually minimized, sometimes even mocked.
But the Holocaust, stands as a unique crime in the history of
Well, that's your
humanity,
opinion.
really.
I think the Holodomor was much worse than the Holocaust. That's my opinion. I mean, we're allowed to have opinions.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can say they're both bad. The Holocaust was bad.
But do you know anything about the Holodomor?
Yeah, in Ukraine, the famine. I know a little bit about it. And I know it was awful too, and it was sort of deliberate. But we can also agree the Holocaust is bad.
Well, we don't have to say that one was objectively worse than the other.
I'm not saying one. I'm not saying that. I'm saying was the Holocaust a bad thing?
So basically, all I'm saying is that I don't really see it as concerning that people are talking about Hitler when it's acceptable. It's publicly, socially acceptable in the United States for leftists to support Chairman Mao.
It's quite difficult to agree on even the very bare minimum here.
It's just interesting, sort of, when we're coming to talking.
Did you say pause?
No, I'm just over here freaking shaking my head hard as hell. This is ridiculous.
Holocaust, it's always about something else. And I think most people would agree the Holocaust was a bad thing.
Right.
But you're not willing to agree with that.
But do you want to talk about the whole? I mean, it
fine,
seems like an interesting subject, but
it is an interesting subject. I also think that was a bad thing, but I think the Holocaust was a bad thing too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, are you asking
well,
a
no,
question?
yeah, I'm asking. Do you think the Holocaust was bad?
Yeah, I think the Holocaust was bad.
He lying.
It took all of that to get him to really. He was trying to argue against it for like the first 5 minutes, and then finally conceded.
Do you think these people are on the spectrum or like?
No, they definitely are retarded. They're retarded.
Okay.
RTTL is based on exclusion, but that also means building community for those allowed inside. This isn't just for our camera's benefit, to present a veneer of clean, healthy living. It's central to the project. Like many far-right movements before them, RTTL's mission is to show that by excluding others, they can live purer, more natural lives.
First of all, let me go back. They said they're gonna live pure. Hold on, this is
It's central to the project. Like many far-right movements before them, RTTL's mission is to show that by excluding others, they can live purer, more natural lives.
This is what.
Wow.
There's an air conditioner right here. I don't know what this is. All this over here, a propane.
Oh God, it's a trailer park.
So much going on. Like
Without the trailers.
It's a propane tank right here, an air conditioner right here. I don't know what that is. A water bottle, empty water jug. It's all this is waste and just what are we doing here?
Yeah, we pack ratting right now.
Cleaner and natural does not mean propane tanks and air conditioning units and that's broken, just thrown outside. Then they got a nerve to have a fucking plant right here. Child, y'all need to pull it together. Because I would not have that in my community.
As they put it on their website, to cultivate wholesomeness, beauty, health, and hope.
You know they're gonna take certain pictures of certain shit because if they take a picture of the whole thing, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be a disaster." Looking like a disaster.
Let's talk about hope. As much as RTTL might like, they do not exist in a separate world. Pocahontas is the nearest town to the settlement. And hope means something different for Pat Johnson.
I'm Tom.
I'm Pat.
Oh, you're Pat. Lovely to meet you, Pat. How are you?
We met her before we went up into the hills.
It was about 25 students that attended school here.
The
on
whole
and off.
time, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's really tiny. That like there you are.
Yes.
Second from bottom. How old are you in that photo?
I don't know. I think probably about 12 or 13.
This is the school she attended in the 1950s, a school for black children only, because she was not allowed to be educated with white people. Unlike the members of Return to the Land, she is Arkansas born and bred. For the first 15 years of her life, she lived under segregation.
We could not go to school together. We couldn't eat together. We couldn't do everyday things together. Each day that you leave your home, you are under rejection.
And Pat had hoped those days had gone.
When you hear things like that, it causes you to be fearful and you don't know who to trust.
Honey, let them go ahead and go. And you can trust them. Trust them to get the hell up on whatever the hell they doing. I don't want to hear what
Fly out regardless. You know what I'm saying? They can't even reproduce like they're supposed to.
What'd you say?
Their death rates are above their reproductive rates.
Yeah.
And that's really the deal. It doesn't even matter how hard they try. Okay, this maladaptive
not the Nightbot boy. I will let bro.
Recessive traits on top of compounding the recessives. And that's why they come out with the most levels of. I'm gonna keep it 100. That's why they come out with the most levels of birth defects and mutations. Okay,
right?
They are recessive on top. They don't understand that diversity is a part of the evolutionary process. People have to, your genetics have to be introduced to genes that are stronger in areas that your genes are not. And that comes from mixing in with people who are not necessarily like you.
Man, I don't
that's why I hate when people say, "Oh, you don't like this. You don't like women that look like your mother." Why would I want to sleep with my mama? Not saying that that justifies me sleeping with a white person, because they have recessive traits that I might not want to necessarily freaking goddamn pass on to my own children. However, Africa has the largest diversity of genetics. And that's why Homo sapien sapien, pure Homo sapien sapien, is African, sub-Saharan. And y'all motherfuckers is motherfucking goddamn Neanderthal admixture.
Let them go ahead and go
let them fly.
Let's go.
Let them fly.
Foreign races have never successfully assimilated en masse into American culture and nationality.
And the group has tight links to Return to.
Why should we assimilate into American culture when American culture came? Plymouth Rock didn't land on. We didn't land on whatever the fuck the Malcolm X did.
Plymouth Rock. Yeah, I got you.
Let's speak on each other's podcasts and have fast track membership for both organizations.
Comfy. Feels good.
Yeah. It's about time we spoke to Eric.
Less than 50% of children born today in the US are white. I'm white. My kids are white. There is something to your background that informs who you are, your sense of identity. And we don't want that sense of identity being taken away from us involuntarily. So we're taking control of that situation and creating an environment where my kids can celebrate their identity and not have it, you know,
and still breed recessive on top of recessive.
Why is that an issue that you've had to address? You know, there will always be white people.
Well, fuck your goddamn cousin.
Well, I'm feeling a little nervous now in
No,
the interview. We are forced to accept people into our neighborhoods, into our businesses, and into our lives who won't share our background, who won't share many of our cultural priors, even moral priors. We don't have a rule stating, you know, if you have X amount of non-European ancestry, you're definitely out. In many cases, yeah, that would disqualify someone.
Were I to apply to the PMA, my views were different. I'd probably be allowed in. Do you think that's likely? I know it's a case-by-case basis, but just off the top of your head.
Yeah, possibly we would accept you in the PMA.
I don't understand white American culture, but you'd rather have me in that case. I just wonder, though, whether some people watching this, having heard all this intellectualizing, this rhetoric, would say, fine, but actually at heart, this is just, you know, it is just prejudice. It is just bigotry. It is just lowest common denominator racism dressed up in these arguments.
And I would just question the moral frame. Why is it wrong to identify with your own people, want an integrated culture where you can be yourself?
Just to boil it down to, what for you is the definition of racism?
When I was a kid, I suppose I interpreted racism to be judging someone solely on the basis of their race. And is that a good or bad thing? I think this basic moral consensus treats it as automatically a bad thing without a lot of reflection.
This is my last day here. And before I go, I want to speak to John. Not a leader like Eric or Pete or Scott, but an acolyte, a young one and newly arrived. He's only been here a month.
So I'm trying to knock off some of this more good topsoil, give it some more.
We'd seen him when we first came up. He guided us in on his bicycle.
It's just you have a community where you feel like you belong here. You have people you can talk to, and I can't explain it. It's too beautiful. It's nice.
He'd been working on Scott's new house over the weekend. In return for his labor, he gets cheap rent.
You think he's on meth or something? Well, I mean, because some people look like they kind of own something.
They look like they own something.
They don't look normal.
No.
Like his
Some
eyebrows are
red,
all kind of
West Virginian wrong turn looking ass niggas.
I mean, the main guy, he looks like he's put together. I think he might be German.
The blonde fucking eyebrows.
Yeah, he could be, you know, maybe semi-normal.
No, he looks like his mama and his daddy are freaking closely related. That's what he looked like to me.
But you know what? You know, he looked like he's German, and Germans have those deep set eyes and that whole.
Yeah, but that's the problem though. So when you look at the German, that's the RY haplo. And what happened with the RY haplo is that they had small communities where they were literally basically breeding with their own cousins, whether it was 5th or 6th generation, they were still breeding with their own, like directly. So it was compounding recessive on recessive. One of the reasons why they have such a hard time reproducing. And this is one of the reasons. Yeah, I'll get into that because I just got finished destroying this white boy in his comment section about genetics. And he tried to freaking attack me because I said something about, you know what I'm saying, the recessive trait. And he attacked me and started coming at Africans and people of South Saharan. And I'm like, hold on, B. You don't understand freaking transmigration. You don't understand diversity, genetic diversity.
But it's something
Yeah.
else. This guy looks like
Nah, a lot of these dudes look fucking goddamn. He looked like the dude from what was that shit? That movie called with
eyes or which one?
No, the one with the kids that went underground with the pirate.
Goonies.
What was that shit? Goonies. He looked like the dude from the Goonies right now.
Yeah, like his eyebrows are missing. Like he might be sick.
Yeah.
It might be something.
Right. Yeah, shit's falling out already. And I bet you he ain't more than fucking goddamn 30 years old.
Yeah, he's probably like maybe 22, 23. He's very young.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's already
I
falling
can't
apart.
explain it. It's too beautiful. It's nice.
He'd been working on Scott's new house over the weekend. In return for his labor, he gets cheap rent. John dropped out of
They
college,
found
and he's
him.
worked jobs all over the United States. He's 26, younger than the leaders who are all in their 30s. If they are the recruiters, he is the perfect recruit.
Why they keep showing this?
For
Dude?
John, the
They keep showing that raggedy ass house everywhere. They keep showing it. That's all they have. But they only have this little raggedy thing right here. This is all they have of a building. Because honey, they done showed this thing so many times in
over the
different
weekend. In
angles.
return for his labor, he gets cheap rent. John
Honey, listen, now they have a solar panel right there with in front of the AC panel. Look at the AC panel with a solar panel right here. So I don't know whether the AC panel is
Right.
Now off the solar panel. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Honey, what are y'all doing?
dropped out of college, and he's worked jobs all over the United States. He's 26, younger than the leaders who are all in their 30s. If they are the
Are those gasoline or battery pack? Like, what is going on?
recruiters, he is the perfect recruit.
They got to
For
have
John,
their
the
TV.
primary
You know what I'm
motivation
saying?
was financial.
To me, it's economical. It's an economic decision, right? And everything else just kind of falls in
He
line.
was homeless.
But the main thing to me is
This nigga was homeless, and then he decided to go and be over there and work for.
Because that's the only place where he's going to be accepted.
Yep.
He's a bum bump.
Yep.
cheap land. Everything else is a bonus.
You've got two levels here.
So
Yep,
this is
got
this
loft
is
up top,
wait,
and
hold on.
this
This
is
is that's the one house that they have in that whole area that's actually put together, which is a fucking thing you can get from Home Depot, like a store, like a storage.
Right. Yep. Like a
And,
little.
and
Yep.
you got the nerve to like be showing this bullshit off. Come on.
area.
It's a living area down here, so it's quite comfy, right?
It is quite comfy. As for excluding people, I don't see it that way.
So
We
wait.
we're trying to-
That looked like his pillow right there. That's
Fine,
where
but-
he sleep.
You've got two levels here.
Yep,
That's where he
got a
sleep
loft up
right there.
top
You see
and
the pillow?
the main area.
That's his
living
bed.
area.
Oh
It's quite
my
comfy, right?
God!
It is quite-
What are you
That's
doing
his
here?
bed right there. That's it. That's it. That's where he
That's it. You
lives.
just lay on the ground. Just
That's it. Yeah, you niggas just go to sleep.
Get on the
Yep.
computer and just lay on the ground when he
Be
gets
on the computer all day, watching freaking goddamn pornography and fucking jacking off, and then go to sleep.
on a lawn chair.
It's terrible.
No, this is
Type of shit, that type
there's
of,
no way they should ever be showing this. This is
the
embarrassing.
type of shit that we go upside their head with. You know what I'm saying? Happy Charitine to all my peoples out there.
Come on now, what are we doing?
comfy. As for excluding people, I don't see it that way. We're trying to embrace our culture and our heritage. It's been denigrated, if you ask me. We've turned.
Honey, that cup looked better than the
No. Let's really embrace their culture. We're talking about torture devices during the dark ages, right? The only technology that they really came up with was different ways of killing people. You know what I'm saying? During the dark ages. Let's talk about serfs. Let's talk about freaking daggone, you know what I'm saying, the Slavics, where the word slavery came from. See, a lot of these white folks think that they were all princes and lords. No, you weren't. That was the minority of white folks. 90% of these freaking goddamn goofballs came from serfs who were lesser than freaking daggone chattel slaves.
into a
You
melting
were
pot of a country
owned
for a long
by
time.
the land. You were no less a part of the land than a nigga was.
No, they don't have a damn a piano out there. They have a
And
keyboard.
then don't let them think that you was fucking doing some witchcraft, because then they would snatch your balls off and hang you over and hang you in the gallows.
What's up, Pam Mulattoism? Welcome to the chat.
Peace, family. How y'all doing? Good afternoon.
I'm sorry. I kind of fell a little bit asleep when I was watching that one video. It was really late, but I woke back up and you were like, "Hey, I'm trying to get on there." I'm sorry.
It's all good. And I wanted to make a quick comment on this right here as far as this all-white town in Arkansas. I think it would be best if we, as descendants of U.S. chattel slaves, because full disclosure, when we try to build our own communities, you see that we are ethnically displaced, gentrified, etc. They never say that it's harmless. They never say it's a harmless act. So we should give them the same energy. We should contact the Attorney General and get them to file charges against this town for violating the Fair Housing Act of 1968, as well as it's another act that they are violating. But really, we should do everything we can to break their towns up the same way they do us. Really, I don't see it as a harmless act because we don't know what they might progress into.
Well,
Oh
that's
no, they're
not.
gonna turn. Yeah,
It's a cult. It is most
yeah.
definitely. a cult, you
No,
know.
they're gonna. I bet you they're gonna start stockpiling guns in the whole nine. They're gonna turn into a camp. They're
And
gonna
you
turn
see,
into a fucking white supremacist camp with fucking goddamn guns and all of that shit. That's what they all do.
exactly, and you see how, and I'm not here to say whether or not Malachi Z. York was guilty or innocent. I don't know, but you see that when he tried to build his own community and society, they came after him. They shut all that down. So we got to use our power to shut down the white exclusive towns as well.
Right.
Really.
Yep. Smush them. I'm in agreement. Yes, I. Blessed love. Yes, I. Facts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And literally, that's all I came up to say. It was another act that they're violating, and I'm mad that I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But maybe I'll drop down and try to come back with it. But it was something else that they're in violation. Oh, actually, the Civil Rights Act of 1866 is what it is. So they're violating the Civil Rights Act.
We're losing your audio. Got lost.
No, we lost them. No, yeah, I was hearing them.
Civil Rights Act of
1866, Civil Rights Act of 1866. We might have to look that up.
Come back on. I want to hear.
We're gonna have to start putting pressure on these motherfuckers. Y'all gonna leave us the fuck alone.
Can y'all hear me? I'm sorry about that. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you, brother. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I got a phone call. I apologize for that. But I don't know if y'all heard this part. They're violating the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Buenas tardes, Theo, as well as the Fair Housing Act of 1968. So just like we're boycotting the African businesses and we built a lot of momentum doing that, we should also build a lot of momentum contacting the Attorney General's office and putting pressure on them to file charges against this white-only town in Arkansas.
I just wanted to actually, because I'm seeing what they're doing. I want to show, just in case anybody want to say, because I wanted to show how people say, well, no black people.
right.
I don't see why the black people are so mad about what they doing over here. Why don't they build their own community? Well, this is time of
They
race.
shoveled our shit the fuck down. And I'm not a big proponent of Dr. York. However, the community didn't deserve that. The community didn't deserve that. They should have left the community alone.
Right.
They shoveled that shit the fuck down. I'm gonna say it right now. I still feel like Tom Ray should still be standing.
It should. I believe.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Look at the work that they done. I'm like, what that they did? I'm like, all that work, like just down. And this is what they did to it. You see this? This is what they did to all that work that they had done. That's crazy. You see this right here?
Exactly. So
we
got to remember this when the whites try to build, they try to make their own
It should
town.
still be here. It should still be here. You know what I'm saying? It should still be here. It should still be here, y'all. I should still be able to go to right now. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Outside of a trailer.
Right.
And they thinking they done did something. Like, honey, we done had pyramids and all types of shit built up.
Come on, y'all. We was smashing, bro. These motherfuckers, they still on fucking goddamn dubs. We was riding spinners.
Straight up.
And that's the thing, since we can't have our own towns, no one should be able to have their own towns. So we got to figure out ways to break these other ethnicities' towns up, really. Or we just soft, we just cowards, really. And that's really what I wanted to say about people that take the passive approach, which is, well, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Let them whites have their own town. I don't want to live out there anyway. They didn't say that when we tried to do that. The whites didn't give us that grace. So why would you give it to them?
And I want to also show this. Check this out.
It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
Yeah, we don't care, dog.
We don't give a flying fuck. Like, there's a lot of white audacity this week. Like, you guys are sitting around making up these narratives that we care about whites only towns. Mind you, one of these towns are in the mountains. Black people not going up there. We are not going up there. As a matter of fact, thank you. Thank you for telling us where it's going to be, because that's where we will not be. Okay, we can duck and dodge that town. We won't even stop in that town for gas. And the crazy thing is, historically, black people have never cared about white people making white-only towns. Never. Now, if we're sitting there and you think that we're going to move out of our like house or anything like that, then you got another thing coming. But you going off on your own, we've never pillaged white towns before. We've never done what they did to Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've never done that. Black people specifically have never done that. We've never gone into white communities and just pillaged.
We should bomb the
So it's
shit
not
out
us
them
that care.
motherfuckers.
It's y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is viral. This is viral because you want some type of feeling.
And I'm not
from
even
black
saying bomb them,
And we're
but I
gonna say the
will
same
say
thing in
that
every video.
the brother in the video.
I'm gonna say bomb them. I'm gonna say bomb them. Do what they did to us.
But let me say this, and I definitely hear you. I definitely hear you. But to the brother that's in the video, even though I know he's not listening, but I just want to articulate a point. He's actually wrong. He said that we're not going to move out our house. Actually, in gentrifying communities, that's exactly what's happening.
We have.
That's
moved
exactly.
out.
We're being pushed out of our houses. Whether you want to sell it or not, they'll use eminent domain, on your black ass. So yes, we are being pushed out of our houses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Come on. They're gonna act like some of our towns. Some of our towns weren't flooded and fucking daggone those towns that are literally under lakes right now. Black,
honey, I did a whole lot. Like I did a 4-hour
underwater, and then you got towns that they used to cut off with the highways and shit.
Yep.
So that they come on, B, fuck these niggas up.
Yep. I did a whole 4-hour live about that. That's what he came into. That's what he Pam Mulatto. He was like, "Hey, bring me up," and I was like, I was playing so many videos about that shit because I was like, "Man, y'all, what are y'all talking about? We mad because y'all got y'all community and the shit."
No, we mad because y'all fucked our shit up.
Thank you.
Get the fuck out of here.
And
y'all
can barely rub two logs together and make a house. Y'all done been building that one little log for the past 3 days and ain't put nothing together.
Right. Everybody's sleeping on the floor.
Right.
Everybody's sleeping on the floor.
And that's why I don't understand the part about many of the black people, with all due respect, many of the black people that take this passive approach. Really, I don't understand. And this is what I actually wanted to come up earlier to say, DJ Genesis. I really don't understand how when other races are racist towards us, our natural reflex is not to be racist to them. I don't understand that, why we as a unit refuse to give other ethnicities the same energy that they give us. I really don't understand it. For instance,
they said it was natural enough, and that's why they think that we have a lower IQ than them, because we tend to try to build bridges instead of breaking them and burning them down.
Yeah,
and that's what we did with remember the movie with Jamie Foxx, fucking goddamn. They said that the skulls in us enhanced our what do you call it? Our empathy towards other people, which made us weaker than them because we were empathetic. Because we were empathetic.
Yeah. And the one example I wanted to give earlier, and I'm gonna say this before I drop down because I gotta run in the
Why
store.
you got the most serial killers and fucking goddamn mass shooters, but somehow we're the fucking thugs?
And we empathetic to them. And this is the one example I wanted to give before I run into the store right quick. But I wanted to say this earlier, even with the word nigga. Now, you have anti-black Hispanics that not only use the word nigga, they use the word nigga towards us and they say they're not being racist. But you notice we will never use the word spick towards them. We don't even think about it. We just get mad and cry that they said nigga, but we had never called him a spick. That's why I gotta say this, and I'll say this in closing. That's why I at least gotta, and I don't agree with a lot of the things he does, but I at least have to big up Star from the Star Report because he actively uses the word spick because he knows Hispanics use the word nigga.
Especially when you got the fucking Spanish dudes trying to pander to fucking goddamn pasty fucking goddamn penises, you know what I'm saying, just because they want to try to get in. Either way, you still gonna have ice on your ass. But somehow you think that just joining in together on the bashment party against black people are gonna make you more palatable. But yo, man, you over here living off of our civil rights movement. Living off of our shit that we built and getting away with. And then want us to fucking goddamn protect you and you. But they're gonna turn around the moment you get an opportunity. Turn around against us because you want to try to fucking goddamn seem like you're a part of the white, and no, you're not a part of the white infrastructure. You're a banana boat, motherfucking ass motherfucker. Why they building motherfucking walls for you, fucking fences for your ass? I gotta sit there and fucking goddamn argue with Spanish niggas all the time, trying to play us. Like, hold on, B. You was over here eating the hearts of your own daughters.
Mm-hmm.
We was building motherfucking cities.
All right, let's go. Let's listen to
You over here fucking goddamn harvesting oranges and cotton now. You gonna have the nerve to call somebody a nigga. How dare you?
Let's go.
Of our visit.
This first piece that Peter and I are performing, it's called The Virginia Colonies by Fred Cooper. The English governor returned to take his place.
Eric himself takes the stage.
This is a Baroque flute, also known as the German flute or the penny whistle. It was a very popular instrument.
You know your homegirl will
It's
defend
not
these
easy to look
motherfuckers,
tough
right?
with a flute, even if it's German. But the audience is rapt.
Who?
Queen 6'2". She loved these niggas. She a whole coon. You know, she's sexy. I climbed that tree once.
But no, do you see that they didn't put like a whole thing? They didn't create like a whole performance.
She will defend this shit. She will defend it because she feels like, oh, I'm an American and we all are Americans, and so you know what I'm saying. We gotta protect each other. You over here protecting the motherfuckers that want you to be hung on trees.
First of all, the first thing I see
strange fruit looking ass nigga. Strange fruit.
Listen, Zion. Listen. Look at this. I don't even gotta scream. Porta potty right here. So they're all using a porta potty. So they go to the bathroom in a porta potty. This is the little shed right here. A little whatever. Someone brought their little whatever, like little whatever shit over there. They're outside.
Little church bench for the organ. They put next to a keyboard, and he over here fucking playing
outside. No, they're not inside. They're outside. Like it's about to rain. Okay. And this is their entertainment.
Playing the songs they love to sing.
America could be better as a one.
You know goddamn well they want to go back and listen to the radio. Hear some damn. When everybody leave, they're gonna put the radio on to listen to some damn R&B, some Beyonce.
They're like one love, one heart.
Right, no, they're gonna be like, who around the world? Whatever the hell. Some Chris Brown. They come on, they like they have to they
doing
play
Running Man.
old
Doing
hymns from West Virginia and the West Virginia said and hurrah, hurrah. And colonizers, they said this. They know goddamn well they don't come colonize together and group it up together to hear this nigga play the fucking recorder.
White nation state.
Better in what sense?
Would you prefer, completely blank slate, America is just an ethnically white country?
I would probably feel more comfortable there because I'm white, and that's the way that this country was when my ancestors came here.
No, it
You also
wasn't.
talk about Hitler. and
That
you
came
also
after
did
the
a couple
Bacon
times,
Rebellion.
you talked about people are
No
waiting
such thing
around
as
for the new
white.
Hitler to come. And you said he's not going to show up. You have to do the work for that Hitler to arrive.
Hitler is a very controversial historical figure. I think the mainstream view is one-sided. It's informed by World War II propaganda, but also the contrary position that Hitler did nothing wrong that many people online say, that's also a one-sided view. I think all historical figures are complex, multidimensional. But when I say like you're gonna have to wait for that new Hitler to arise, I'm not saying you're gonna have to wait for a new person.
Oh, what are they? Look at this. Look at this. See, okay. He's sitting on a fucking wooden chair, and this guy's sitting on a other chair. They had to take their fucking equipment out into the woods because they don't have nothing set up. This is a bunch of bullshit propaganda because ain't nothing out there. Let's be real. They found a patch in between some trees. They have battery packs, ain't even no plugs plugged up to they got them equipment. If that battery runs out of batteries, they are through. Let's be real. The lights ain't even on. The lights are not on. They tried to make it seem like they were doing something. That's a lie. Those lights are not on. Why would they be on? Why would this light be?
If black folks had lived there, listen. If black folks lived there, that whole patch that they're sitting on would have freaking plants and flowers and fucking fruits and berries. That shit would have been lit.
You would
that
not.
Shit would have been lit. Lit.
Looks terrible.
Fuck out of here.
Would never do a goddamn press conference with this bullshit.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. We would be in our gardens. That whole shit would have been, the whole soil would have been turned over and shit would have been growing out of it. These raggedy motherfuckers. Raggedy as hell.
They get all this news. Hell, Nature Boy.
That shit would have been fire. That shit would have been fire. There would have been so many different plants and colors and shit going on, fruits and berries going on right there. Right where the fuck they see. You see that fucking barren land? Oh, Edomite looking ass niggas.
They haven't turned nothing over.
Begging for a bowl of fucking goddamn pottage.
Man, this shit is stupid as hell. I don't even know why they're on the news.
This shit retarded, yo.
All he did was
you would have had that shit on spinners. You would have had that shit on spinners.
He bought
that little area right there.
Then listen, then when you
cabbage, collard greens, tomatoes, that whole area would have been plush. Plush.
Come on now. This shit. This is the boat. This is the most they've done.
This shit's sad as hell, yo. And then you wonder why they took us.
We do not.
They knew we was going to turn up.
There be no
way. Going to turn up with the turnips.
What are y'all doing? This is
shit is sad, yo. Pasty ass fucking
the most
goddamn.
Somebody brought a swing set for the kids that from their house, and they said, "Oh, I got a swing set," and they put that up, and you know that the most they have in that bitch is like stuff they brought from their own little backyards.
Do what they do. Listen, just don't fuck with our shit. How about that? When we start building communities and pyramids and shit, don't fuck with our shit. You can have your shit.
Listen,
nobody want to live with your pasty ass and your motherfucking seasoning raisins in the motherfucking goddamn potato salad looking ass motherfucker.
Listen, when we
nobody got nothing to fucking goddamn don't care.
When we put our
you know what I'm saying?
Put together, honey, we had like look at this, the aerial view of that. Okay?
I'm beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Now that I've seen, I gotta give Tama Ray. Or however.
Samurai.
Come on now. Look at this.
Pyramids, bro. You niggas got something to say about us.
Even when it's fucking,
Why?
even
we
when
do
they
everything better. We do everything fucking 10 times better.
look at even how they had the ground. Everything looked sweet, bro.
Slapping.
And
I bet you all they potato salad was seasoned.
And you know, I wonder. I don't think that nobody
Not a
ever sat there and look at this.
Not a raisin in sight. Not a raisin.
This is how it looks now. Look at this. Look at the work that they did in this. Look at how amazing this looked. Even later on, when ain't nobody there, it looks beautiful.
Right. Crazy, y'all. Leave our shit the fuck alone then. If you want to fucking go ahead. Nobody want to fucking eat your fucking unseasoned motherfucking pork.
And that's what's crazy that they're over here. So, we would applaud you guys if y'all had.
No,
you know, I really don't think anyone should be surprised by the fact that a whites only community is popping up in Missouri. Racist white people are going to do racist shit. Okay? Especially in the current political climate. We saw this last time when Trump was president. The racists felt emboldened. They kept doing more racial bullshit. There's plenty of stats for this. Go look it up yourself. You're a grown person. That being said, we know how it's going to end. Alright, this is the same as every other cult that has popped up, because I do genuinely believe that racism runs so deep in people's minds, it indoctrinates them like a cult. Especially in white communities, because white parents pass down white supremacy onto their kids because they just never learned white patriarchal society. But it's one of those things that, and it's not excusable. That is not an excuse. I'm simply trying to say where it comes from. It's why so many white people talk about deconstruction, talk about going through all these things, because especially if you grew up in the Bible Belt, in a a Bible Belt small town, that is part of deconstructing from leaving a white town, a small town, is, oh fuck, everyone I knew was racist as shit. Though that was all racist shit they were saying. I do not feel bad for the adults one bit. They are full-grown adults. I don't give a fuck. They've been shamed. Look, they have been so successfully shamed out of society for their racist-ass beliefs that they genuinely believe they have to set up their own community. That's beautiful to me. The only thing that I genuinely feel remorse for in the whole thing are the kids. We know how this is going to end here in 6 or 7 years. There's going to be a hell of a documentary about this, about all of the child abuse and all of the sexual abuse that is going to happen in these towns. That
exactly.
Is the overwhelming factor that always happens in these white nationalist cults is massive amounts of child abuse that the parents are going to cover up.
Sexual molestation
to putting their children around predators. They will never even come to terms with the fact that they are best friends with predators who are openly going to prey on their own children. They don't genuinely give a fuck about their kids. They never have. They never will. They just want to be racist. That's the end of it. They have no culture to protect. They have none of that shit. No, they just want to say racist shit and homeschool their kids and keep them racist and indoctrinate them. So we see exactly how this is going to play out, because it is played out this way in every other Christian community. Predators will rise to the top. The women and men around them will protect them. And here in about 6 to 10 years, you'll see a survivor come out saying, a kid that was born before they got into the cult. The kid that remembers life being kind of normal before their parents went off the deep end with Trump. Those kids will eventually come out and go, yeah, no, there's a ton of sexual abuse going on. There's a ton of child abuse. There's a ton of spousal abuse. And it's going to repeat because we have not successfully done a good enough job in getting these kind of people out of society. And that's the truth. They are so arrogant to their own actions, because it's not ignorance. Ignorance is more of, I'm doing things and I don't understand the consequence. They are blatantly doing things and ignoring consequence. That is arrogance.
I need you
to
look at the Lori
you can read or even listen to or just engage in to break those cycles, and they refuse to do it. They're just going to keep the white quota going.
I need you to look at
their goal
Lori
at the end of the day.
Daybell.
They want to maintain that power structure. They want to maintain that some white dude
Lori
was on top
Maybell?
of power. And that's what they want.
Lori.
So no, this, as
Lori
disgusting
Daybell.
as it is, it's not surprising in the least bit. Look at the current climate we are in. They are going to be trying to do this more and more because they feel emboldened. They know the government's on their side. They know that the entire controlling government is currently on the sides of racists and pedophiles. So of course they're going to be emboldened to do these awful things. Unless
He's
someone is
not
going to
lying.
go down there and stop it personally, it's never going to stop. We would need multiple John Browns at this point to even attempt to stop what is coming.
I'm looking that up, but I'm gonna show you this real quick. So this is the type of like the stuff that they've said. So let's watch this. Hold on, because I'm gonna look at Lori Daybell next.
How many lawsuits have we gotten so far? None? No one wants to sue us. Have they not heard? We are making a whites only community in Arkansas. No one cares. No one else is allowed. We are not allowing anyone else but whiteys, like solid white people. No one with melanin in their skin cares. Do you think they just didn't understand? They do understand and they're actually happy about it. But did they hear that we're not even taking Jews? Even the Jewish community is happy about it? Don't understand. Are you sure you're reading it right? What are they saying? They're saying take as many people as you can. They don't want to be the people we're taking. No. Segregation is supposed to make people mad. Not this kind of segregation. Okay, I mean, do they know about Missouri? They said we can have Missouri as well. Wow, Arkansas and Missouri. What about what we're calling it, return to the land? They're laughing at that. Okay, so what do you think we should do? Get more segregated? Not let women and children into the community? Well, then who would we victimize?
You see what I'm saying? So here we go. This is Lori Daybell. What we're gonna see here? I'll just
she was a Mormonist who was married to her husband, something Vallow, and the other dude, Daybell, he was married to his wife, Tammy Daybell. They killed the children and killed their fucking goddamn spouses to be together. Mormons, white supremacist Mormons. White supremacist Mormons, they found the children's body in the motherfucking goddamn pet cemetery in this nigga's backyard.
What?
Just like the dude just got finished saying about molestation and abuse, this woman killed her own daughter and her dead husband, who she had killed, his freaking goddamn brother's son, whom she adopted as a mother. Both of them children turned up dead in a pet cemetery behind the backyard of her new husband. They went to motherfucking goddamn Hawaii, was over there fucking drinking Kahlúas and shit while everybody was trying to figure out where the children were.
Oh my God.
And they found the children in this nigga's
A jury
backyard.
has been seated and sworn in for Lori Vallow Daybell's first of two murder conspiracy trials. This one has to do with her fourth husband, Charles Vallow,
He wasn't
who was
lying.
shot and killed by Lori's brother, Alex Cox, in July 2019. Cox claimed it was self-defense. Cox, though, died of natural causes later that year. 13 men and 3 women have been selected as part of the jury. 12 will ultimately deliberate with 4 alternates. Trial is scheduled to start on Monday. Vallow Daybell will also stand trial for conspiracy to commit murder against her niece's ex-husband, Brandon Boudreaux. He was shot at while driving in Arizona in October 2019. Bianca Buono with our sister station in Phoenix sat down with a private investigator who was hired to look into the web of crimes and killings all connected to Vallow Daybell.
We didn't know where the next attack might come from.
For 25 years, Rich Robertson has worked as a private investigator in Arizona, but he'll be hard-pressed to ever work a case like this one again.
People were dying while I was investigating.
In 2019, Robertson was contacted by Brandon Boudreaux, the now ex-husband of Lori Vallow Daybell's niece. Boudreaux had just been shot at, and from the beginning, he thought Lori Vallow Daybell had something to do with it. Her 2 children, JJ and Tylee, had recently disappeared.
He felt that they were all related. He hired me to try to find where everybody went because they all fled to Idaho.
And months before Boudreaux's attempted murder, Lori Vallow Daybell's ex-husband, Charles Vallow, was shot and killed in Chandler.
I got in a fight with my brother-in-law and I shot him in self-defense.
This 911 call was made by Alex Cox, Lori Vallow Daybell's brother, admitting to shooting Charles Vallow, claiming it was self-defense. At the time, Richardson recalls it wasn't a high-profile case for police.
They didn't really dig into it. I don't think it was until after all these other deaths that they went back into it to put together the conspiracy.
As more deaths continued to happen, prosecutors say that conspiracy became clear. Now, more than 5 years later, Lori Vallow Daybell has been convicted of murdering her 2 children, conspiring to murder the first wife of her current husband, Chad Daybell, and is serving multiple life sentences. She's now back in Arizona representing herself.
Look at her smiling. Wait, stop.
The jury
I need you to stop.
Sworn in on.
I need you to stop. I need you to rewind and look at her smile. She looks like something from The Further on Insidious. Look at her face. That's how she walked into the courtroom.
And she
look at her.
Look at her.
Back in Arizona representing.
Wait, no. I need you to rewind that 2 times. Look at her face, yo.
She's now back in Arizona representing herself in court, charged with conspiracy to commit murder in the death.
Wow.
Those are the 2 babies that they found in his fucking backyard. And the husband is dead. This guy right here, he's dead. He died. They murdered him. She got charged for him, the 2 children, and the new husband's fucking goddamn ex-wife who died suspiciously.
What?
Look at her fucking smile. I'm talking insidious. You want us to live with these people? Are you fucking serious? These niggas will eat your fucking goddamn hind parts. Go ahead and press play. Watch.
Of Charles Vallow. The jury officially seated and sworn in on Tuesday.
Her representing herself is not going to help her at all. This trial is going to be a circus.
During Robertson's time investigating this bizarre and tragic case, most of his questions have been answered. But today, days away from the start of yet another trial, the biggest that remains is why.
I'm not sure we've ever really gotten to the why, or it's certainly not a why that any of us can quite understand. We're all trying to come up with rational explanations for these irrational acts. I don't think we'll ever get there.
Opening statements in the trial are set to begin on Monday, and once that trial wraps up,
now go to Alec Murdaugh, M-U-R-D-A-U-G-H. Alec Murdaugh. I'm gonna show you what white people do. Let's do this. Let's show white on white crime. Let's get it out. Alec Murdaugh. Right there. Right there. Let's get to this dude. Let's look at what this dude just got finished saying. He literally said it. White racist lawyer who killed his own family.
I'm trying to find
Let's get it out. Let's get some, because they got a lot of long ones. Let's get the short version so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But y'all want us to live by these people. what this dude just said. The only thing that's going to happen when you have these white communities is a whole bunch of sexual molestation and abuse of children and murders. His whole family is a family of murder, going all the way back to his grandfather. Watch this shit. I can keep going. I do this all day. That's all I do is watch. Go ahead.
Tonight, Alec Murdaugh's alibi potentially destroyed by his son's own video.
Get it. Get that.
Prosecutors revealing a 58-second cell phone video recorded by Paul Murdaugh directly contradicting Alec Murdaugh's story, placing him at the murder scene minutes before his wife and son were shot to death. In the video, you can see Paul going into a pen on the family's property to check on a friend's dog. In the background, you hear other voices.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken. Come here, Bubba. Come here, Cash. Come here, Bubba. Cash.
So they went from that to getting killed? What the hell?
He killed his wife and his second son. Murdered them and then acted like he wasn't there. But the video that the dude that his own son had put has his voice in the video right before they died. And it was for money.
I'm trying to find a quick description of what happened.
The trial of Alec Murdaugh is already bringing some memorable moments. We'll go through 5 key points from week 1. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
The male victim laying on the ground to my left, as well as the female victim on the ground to my right. The male victim was close to a small shed in the dog kennel on the left. There was a large deal of blood that had pooled around his body. Same thing for the female victim on the right. Also a large amount of blood around her body.
As you approached and first saw the male victim and the female victim, what was your assessment? Was there any possible signs of life from your?
My initial assessment was that there was not. There appeared to be a large amount of blood around each of them, as well as brain matter.
Did you ultimately have a conversation with Mr. Murdaugh when you were out there?
I did.
And do you see him here in the courtroom today, the person that you talked to?
I do.
And can you point him out to the jury, please?
Yes, sir. He's right there, wearing a dark blue or black jacket.
Your Honor, can the record reflect that he's identified Mr. Murdaugh?
It does.
The trial of Alec Murdaugh is underway. The renowned South Carolina attorney is accused of murdering his wife Maggie and his son Paul.
He's an attorney.
That he shot them to death on June 7th, 2021 on their family property. And after week 1, there is a lot to talk about. So let's recap 5 key moments from week 1 in the Alec Murdaugh trial. And we'll start off with opening statements. Opening statements from the prosecution and the defense, both sides setting the stage for the jury on what to expect from the case. And we'll start off with Prosecutor Creighton Waters, who highlighted really especially important evidence for the jury to consider. But really, we have to talk about this curious cell phone video.
At 8:44 and 55 seconds.
I got one more for you after this.
He was down at the kennels because he had been talking to a friend of his. You're going to hear from this friend because his friend's dog was in the kennels and they thought there was something wrong with the tape. And Paul was recording a video of it to send to his friend. 8:44 and 55 seconds. And on.
You do not want this prosecutor on your case. He's a bad
You hear from
motherfucker.
witnesses that identify Paul's voice, Maggie's voice, and Alec's voice. Told anyone who would listen he was never there. At 8:44 and 55 seconds, there's a video. The evidence will show that he was there. He was at the murder scene with the 2 victims. And more than that, just over 3 minutes later, 8:49 and 1 second, Paul's phone locks forever.
And he also talked about the significance of a piece of clothing.
You're also going to hear evidence that about a week after the murders, Mr. Alec Murdaugh's father had died, Mr. Randolph. And about a week after the murders, he shows up early in the morning at his parents' home, where his mother still is in late-stage Alzheimer's, on Alameda in Hampton. It's uncharacteristic for him to show up early, uncharacteristic for him to show up at all like that. And he comes in and he's carrying something in a blue tarp, and he takes it upstairs. And eventually law enforcement finds out about that. And they go upstairs and they find a wadded up, very, very large raincoat in a blue color. It looked like a tarp. And you're going to hear evidence that it's coated with gunshot residue on the inside.
Defense attorney Dick Julian said it makes absolutely no sense for Alec to murder his family, who he loved.
You're not going to hear a single
witness say that their relationship, Maggie and Alex's relationship, was anything other than loving. You're going to hear about how they went to a baseball game the weekend before. You're going to hear about their relationship. You're going to see texts and emails indicating a loving relationship. Paul, the apple of his eye. You're going to see a video somewhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock the night of the murders, with Paul and Alec riding around looking at some trees they planted. It's a Snapchat that Paul sent to other people because the trees were not planted very well. They were cantilevering over. They're laughing. They're having a good time. That would be about an hour before the Attorney General says he spotted them. The gases from that shot literally exploded his head like a watermelon hit with a sledgehammer. All that was left was the front of his face. Everything else was gone. His brain.
Oh my God.
Yeah, blew his son's face off. Blew his son's, and it was with the gun that they had in his own house that all of a sudden mysteriously disappeared. Now, let's go to
what was the purpose? Why did he do that?
I got two more for you.
What was the reason?
All right, so basically he got caught up in, because he's a lawyer, he got caught up in some shit that was going to fucking goddamn, and his wife was trying to separate from him. His wife was on her way out. She was staying at the beach house. She wasn't even sleeping there anymore with him in his own house. And so he had 2 life insurance policies. Well, he had 3 on all 3 sons, but he saved one son. And the other 2, his wife and his youngest son, who got into a boating accident and caused him further financial fucking goddamn disparity. His son jumped in the boat drunk, riding the boat, and caused the death of somebody. So his youngest son literally put him in a place where he was going to have to pay.
It probably was that younger son. That's probably why he didn't do anything to him. There's probably some kind of.
The youngest son was the one who got into the boating accident, which put him in a place where he was going to have to pay for damages and the death of a young person who was in the boat with him. And so his son was hot, and they were about to get charged. And then all of a sudden, his wife and his son turned up dead. He said that he was sleeping and he wasn't there for the whole situation. Come to find out, his son was recording on fucking Snapchat, and he was there 5 to 4 minutes before the death of his wife and his son, and he lied about it. Now, watch this. You talk the white boy who was talking about the death and murder of children and stuff, right? Remember he said that?
Yeah.
Remember that guy? Go to Shonda, Shanda, Shonda Vander Ark. I got one more after this. After this, we will talk about why we don't want to move next to these motherfuckers. All right? And I'm talking about some racists. This bitch is another person who was in the legal system. She was a fucking goddamn court clerk. And watch what she was doing to her own child. Her own child, special needs child. Let's get to this. Shonda Vander Ark. You got it? And then I'm gonna do the Idaho.
We were there based on the death of a young child. 15-year-olds don't just die. The smell was horrific. You could smell it just from outside the door. It was just a very strong odor of like urine, feces, garbage. It was overwhelming. It was shock. It was very that a child of his age would look like something out of a concentration camp. It was disbelief, horror, grief. It was a mixture of a lot of emotions. But I think what probably took over more than anything was wanting to figure out what happened to get justice for him. Orange Shores is a pretty quiet community. The neighbors are pretty close knit. Where the Vander Ark Ferguson household was, I mean, that was quiet. Very rarely did we take calls on that road. I mean, it just goes to show you that things can happen anywhere. It doesn't have to be in a low socioeconomic community. It can be your high, your middle class neighborhoods. It's not where you live, it's the people that are living there. I always think of that house as just the house of horrors, because that's, to me, just from beginning to the end, it was just one thing unfolded after another. And it was just like, oh my God, this is unreal. Like, you didn't want to believe that such horrible things happened to a child. It was.
Yo, they was
you were
pouring
dumbfounded.
hot sauce. She
How's that
was
possible?
telling her oldest son, to pour hot sauce on the little boy's testicles if he tried to go and get something to eat.
What?
The little boy, yes, pouring hot sauce on his testicles.
What? Why?
Because he had a special needs. He was a special needs kid, and she tried to mistreat him. She dehumanized him to even the older brother. And they eventually caused this little boy, they used to put him in fucking tubs of ice water. Tubs of ice, and that's where he died. He died total, like he was 12, like I think he was like maybe 16 or 15 years old, and he died at 60 something pounds. What 16-year-old, what 15-year-old is 60 pounds?
Right, that's crazy.
They starved the little boy to death, and anytime he tried to get food, they treated him like he was breaking the rules when they weren't feeding him. They had shackles for him, treated him like a slave, pouring hot sauce on his private parts to punish the little boy for trying to get something to eat. Now let's go to Ryan Kohlberger. This is why they can't talk about us. I'm gonna show you what I do all day. I watch court. I watch white folks, white on white crime. Let's go to Ryan Kohlberger. No, with a K. I think it's with a K. Right there. Go back. Kohlberger, right there. Let's do this. Watch this dude. This dude thought he was going to be the next Ted Bundy.
In the spring of 2022, Brian Kohlberger was accepted into the criminology PhD program at Washington State University. At the time of the Idaho student murders, Kohlberger was a teaching assistant. And a few of his students came forward to say they noticed a difference in his behavior after the murders.
No reason to connect him to that, at the time, but definitely around then, he started grading everybody just 100s. He seemed preoccupied is what I would have said at the time.
He would come in, be there for 10 minutes, leave, not say much. So he didn't really do that much, but you could tell there was some off about him.
What's still unclear is the prosecution's theory as to why he would want to kill these young people and what, if any, was the connection.
Motive is not an element of crime or murder, but of course, every inquiring mind wants to know why. Why would Brian Kohlberger do this to 4 innocent victims, college students? Could the state go to trial without motive? Absolutely, but I bet they won't. And the problem here is that we don't even have a connection to these victims. Forget about motive.
Steve Gonsalves, Kaylee's father, believed there's a good chance the murderer was tracking Kaylee and or her best friend Maddie.
I'd be a little bit surprised if there wasn't a clearer touch point that would suggest that he was interested in 1 or 2 of the people more than he was the others.
An Instagram account that was taken down shortly after Kohlberger's arrest with the username of Brian Kohlberger was following several members of the Kohlberger family. The account also followed Madison Mogan.
So what was going on in this particular case? Uh-oh, your device is not connected. We'll just continue it.
I'm Benjamin Mogan. I'm Madison Mogan's father.
I first met Maddie Mogan's father, Ben, at the Mad Greek restaurant a few weeks after the murders. Maddie and Xana both worked there. It's a popular restaurant in downtown Moscow. Tell me about what a beautiful person she was.
Well, she was so great. She lit up every room she'd come in, and she was just so positive and fun. And
Your device is not connected. Okay.
and we love her and miss her so much.
The Mad Greek restaurant is also one of the first places that comes up if you search for vegan food in Moscow. We know Brian Koberger claims to be a vegan because he asked for a vegan meal plan at the jail.
So maybe he did see Maddie and Xana at the Mad Greek and sort of became obsessed with them. But prosecutors made a point in their probable cause affidavit. They went into detail about this Reddit post that the defendant allegedly made, calling out to criminals to provide him with the reason why they chose their victims and committed their crimes. Now, I understand he studies this stuff, but this is still a little strange.
Sounds like he's looking for the reasons why people do the things that they do, maybe to answer the question for himself.
Man, what the hell? So what is this case about? What happened with this?
Okay, so this dude, he decides. So he has multiple degrees, multiple master's degrees in criminology. This dude went to school to study criminology and then turns around and slaughters 4 white students that were in his freaking class that were coming. You know, he was doing grading and stuff. Come to him for grades and stuff. And I guess he was trying to be down with the, you know what I'm saying, with the in crowd. But this dude is so sociopathic that everybody thought he was weird in the school. They just thought he was weird and really didn't fuck with him except to get their grades. And he was very hard on people on grades and stuff, even though, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't the main professor. He was just the dude who did the grading of tests and stuff like that. He turned around and slaughtered 4 students, slaughtered them. White kids, white teenagers, 18 to 20 something in college, slaughtered them and then tried to ride off in the sunset like he didn't do shit. Like he didn't do shit. And once all of the DNA evidence and everything came up, in order to get out of being put in front of the fire, because in Iowa, you get the firing squad now. They went back to daggone Dracovellian times. They do firing squad for fucking goddamn. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he pled out. He finally pled out just a couple of weeks ago. Finally pled out. Now he's not going to die. He has like freaking, I think like 10 counts of fucking goddamn. He's got like 10 counts of fucking life imprisonment. You know what I'm saying? So he's never going to get out. He waived his right to any appeal. And he needs to be treated like Jeffrey Dahmer was, with a fucking broomstick.
So you showed us. I want you to check this cult out. It's called the cult of Zizian, and I think that the Ziz is still missing in action. He faked his death. The cult members stabbed the guy in his face and used a samurai sword and killed his wife.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want you to check this out. So this is what I believe.
This ain't even the only case that I can pull. I can pull up a whole bunch, but I just showing y'all.
I want to show because when I first started off,
we'll be here all day if I had to pull up every case that I watch.
Yeah, I know. So I want to show. I want to show this one because this is crazy. But this is about a cult, and I want to really show about how the cults, how it could get crazy. And I think that they don't even realize that they're in a cult. They don't realize the people that are over there doing it, they're in a cult.
Back to November 2019, a radical offshoot of the rationalist movement called the Zizians staged a protest against the Center for Applied Rationality while dressed in black robes and Guy Fawkes masks. Ziz, the group leader, who's also known as Jack Lasota, and 3 associates were arrested: Emma Borhanian, Gwen Danielson, and Alexander Leatham. Fast forward almost 2 years, Ziz and the associates file a federal lawsuit against Sonoma County, Westminster Woods, and the 2 deputies. They say they were wrongly arrested, abused, assaulted, and mocked for being transgender. In August of 2022, Ziz allegedly dies in a boating accident in San Francisco Bay, according to an obituary in a Fairbanks, Alaska newspaper. Then in November, Leatham, Borhanian, and Dow allegedly attack their Vallejo landlord, Curtis Lind, with one impaling him with a samurai sword through his chest. Lind shoots 2 of his assailants, killing Borhanian. Lind survives the attack, but is left blind in one eye. Leatham and Dow are charged with murder and attempted murder. A few months later, in Chester Heights, Pennsylvania, Richard Zatko and his wife Rita are found shot to death in their home. And Jack Lasota, the namesake of the Zizian movement, was arrested in the state as police investigated that crime, indicating that Ziz was actually very much alive. Remember the federal lawsuit Ziz filed in 2021? That's now dismissed because the plaintiffs are unwilling to pursue further action. In November of last year, Teresa Youngblood and Maximilian Snyder applied for a marriage license in Washington state. It's unclear if they ever got married. The couple went to high school together in Seattle and studied computer science at prestigious universities. We'll get back to them in a second. On January 17th, 2025, Curtis Lind, the Vallejo landlord, is attacked and stabbed yet again. This time, Lind dies from his injuries. We talked to a man who works at an auto body shop across the street from where the crime happened. Here's what he said of the gruesome killing.
El señor, Mr. Curtis, se bajó de su carro y él llegó y lo abrazó por atrás y lo empezó a apuñalar. Algunos muchachos vieron y trataron de ayudarle y el muchacho se regresó nuevamente a seguirlo apuñalando y le cortó el cuello.
Lind was set to provide key testimony in the upcoming trial against his 2019 attackers. On January 20th, Youngblood, the supposed newlywed, and a German national, Felix Baukholt, also known as Ophelia, are driving near the Vermont-Canada border. They're pulled over for an immigration check. Youngblood allegedly shoots an officer and a shootout ensues. Border agent David Mayland and Baukholt are killed. Youngblood is arrested and faces 2 weapons charges. Investigators say Youngblood had been in frequent contact with a person of interest in the Vallejo murder case who had also been detained in the Pennsylvania double homicide. The day after the border shootout, an alert is issued calling Michelle Zatko a person of interest in the killing of border agent Mayland and seeks info on Zatko's purchase of firearms. Michelle is also listed in another law enforcement bulletin as a person of interest in Pennsylvania double slaying. Michelle's name is listed on legal notices regarding the estates of Richard and Rita. Maximilian Snyder, meanwhile, is arrested by Vallejo police in Reading. He's a suspect in the Lind murder. He's booked in Solano County Jail without.
Can we just, I'm sorry, this is insane. What? Are y'all listening to this? Now, the reason why I wanted to cover this about this cult is because, we have different cults that I've heard. I have never heard of such a thing.
Right.
I mean, these people are excessively violent. You understand me? Get pulled over by the police and just start busting. I mean, the dude, they hit him with a samurai sword in the chest. He cased the girl. They come back, slit his throat. You understand what I'm saying? How violent you have to be to execute something so extreme. And these people, I don't see how they were able to make it. Now, the part that's baffling me is now that even as we speak today and we're going through this case, do you know that the biggest part of that people are starting to talk about is the fact that people are getting misgendered because they're a transgender cult, and the transgender community is getting behind this whole situation, and they have a problem with the fact that certain members were getting misgendered in the actual news and when they covered this.
Wow. So instead of hello everybody, and what's poppin' Genesis? Thank you for having me.
Hey, how's it going?
It's child. You put me on to something new right here. I was like, wait, what in the world is this? Just when you thought you heard it all, I said, this is a new cult, and I'm like, out of everything they got going on, they really are complaining about misgendering them. They're not worried about the acts of violence that they're doing, and you know what I'm saying, just run the whole crime ring around the country. That's crazy.
But the thing is it's so random. It's not like it even makes any sense what these are things are for.
What's their premise? Right, what's their premise? What's their mission? I don't know. It's giving a ball of confusion just to spread violence. But I'm learning, so I'm listening. As you're playing the video, I'm listening so I can learn for myself, so I can try to get try to get somewhat of a better understanding for this code, because I've never heard of them before.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Torian? How's it going? But so basically they're a part of this thing called the rationalist movement. I've just now heard of this. I never knew this even existed, right?
Okay.
So there's a movement called the rationalist movement, and they're also extreme vegans. So I think they are, when they say extreme veganism, I'm thinking like PETA level vegans. Okay.
Right.
Throw the paint on the one throwing paint on people if you have a level
and all that. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So and they're involved with protests, they're just really just involved with a whole bunch of stuff.
Right. hiding behind the guise of the LGBTQ plus community, you know what I mean, maybe to get some defense or an out of some sort, or some type of support, possibly. I don't know, but they don't look trans.
Now
They
they
don't look
say
as
all of them
reason.
are transgenders. This is what's crazy.
Wow.
Very violent cult. And without any logic or reason behind it, they just have this spree of like I think that maybe some of this has to do because I know that the guy right here with the eye missing, he had land that I think they were trying to get control of. You know, he had a whole RV park that I think that they were trying to get. And I think that if they would have got off him, then they would have been able to own that land. I think that that's what that was about. And I think that there was some insurance money involved with the parents, you know what I'm saying? When they went over to Vermont and killed the parents. So I think that there's some probably like, you know, what it has to do with money. Now, I know
Inheritance, yeah.
What happened is that they were being followed by the police officer, and because the FBI had been on their trail. And so when the police officer pulled them over, I think that they had already knew because the hotel said that the young lady had a gun on her hip. Like she was actually open carrying with the gun.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. And so they called the hotel, called the police, and told the police that she's open carrying. And so they pulled them over, but they already knew that they were, you know, I think there was already like, you know, the FBI had already been watching them. And I think they was aware because they've been being followed. And so that's why they opened fire on the popos. And then I don't know exactly what happened with the Border Patrol agent, but you know, I mean, but gee whiz, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? But they were not arresting these people. They were doing all this and they were letting them go. What? Watch this.
Case, move to the timeline of the crimes, then offer my analysis. Before I get started with this one, I want to talk for a minute about preferred pronouns. This case involves an alleged cult, which was heavily invested in the transgender ideology. Most of the participants were transgender and used pronouns which are different than those used by law enforcement when referring to them. This has caused some...
You see how they got to like tread lightly about the pronouns and all this other stuff?
Right,
Like,
that's what they're not trying to, and again, I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful to anyone in the LGBTQ plus community and misgender anyone or give anyone the wrong pronouns, but I would think, you know, you would be more considerate to human life, you know, versus like, you know what I mean, more so than a pronoun or like a gender, but I mean,
like although the law enforcement was misgendering them and okay. But you know what? When they went to jail, did they go to the gender of their transgender thing, or did they go according to what their current
gender?
They
went where the fuck
and that would make law enforcement okay.
They went exactly where
their ID is going to say what their original gender.
They went exactly where their
law enforcement is gendering them according to what their gender is on their ID.
Right.
So I wanted to like really show that part. Where even when people are discussing this, then the intellectuals, this guy's a doctor, you know, they get caught up in the whole hoopla of, oh, well, law enforcement was misgendering them. Law enforcement is not, this is not a news, they're not the news. That law enforcement is a law enforcement. And they're going to go by what's on your birth certificate and what's on your identification. When you go into prison, you're going to go into the part that's on your ID. Okay, and if they're not fully transitioned, I don't think that they're going to end up being able to go into a female prison. So
I believe so. I think if they still have like the biological parts of physical parts of, you know, their original gender, I do believe that's where they assign them to what type of prison they go to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's just slightly go into this and how like the focus has really been on the gendering of them as they get into this whole thing.
Outrage with the media.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, because it wasn't working before. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Who was the sister that was on? Because every time I pop up, she disappears.
Oh no, it's not. She's not. This is a whole video I had done about this, and so she was there when I did the video.
Oh, okay, okay.
But you're right. You know, yeah. They had to go with the gender, so why are they up there paddling around it? You know,
right.
So, but this is what I wanted to show is how they handle these white cases with kid gloves when it comes to misgendering and white people, and I mean, how many murders have went by before they even tried to like really do anything? They kept letting him out. This guy was able to fake his own death. Listen to this. Listen to this whole thing. Watch this.
Accusing law enforcement of dead naming and misgendering. Law enforcement officials were simply going by legal names and biological sex. This case is extremely convoluted. It is difficult to understand even before adding preferred pronouns into the mix. To make this story easier to understand, I'm simply going to use the pronouns that correspond with the typical gender associated with the first names of the individuals.
Tell this
So
story.
a masculine first name would be he, him. A feminine first name would be she, her.
And that's
If
the
this
same
happens to
thing that they
correspond
have
with the
to,
individual,
do all this bullshit talking before they actually tell the story. And I'm gonna get
Yeah.
back on that. You know what I'm
When
saying?
you get done with this, when you get done with
are
it, I'm a clown, daggone. Yeah, I totally destroyed freaking daggone what's his name, Silky D today, man. He's this nigga. I went in on his ass, but go ahead, press play.
Human. I'm not even worrying about the gender. Like, okay, this is giving savage right now.
Right, like complete savagery. Like they just, you know, they are on like some Hollywood level.
Like, yeah, like
This is gonna be
they
on
on, I hate
Netflix.
to say it, they on demon time. They on demon time.
Right. There is definitely going to be a movie on Netflix about this.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Oh, a whole series on Hulu. Somebody.
Something's going to happen.
pronouns for those invested in the transgender ideology because I believe it's polite. But that would not make a lot of sense in this story. It would only make it much more confusing. With that said, let's get started with the background. Jack Amadeus Lasoda was born in 1991 and lived in the state of Alaska. His father was an AI researcher at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Jack earned a bachelor's degree in computer science from the same university. After this, he interned with NASA. At some point, Jack became invested in the transgender ideology. He moved to the San Francisco.
The transgender ideology? There's a such thing as a transgender ideology? What is that? What is a transgender ideology?
I have no clue.
Is that some new thing that this came out? Because I've never heard of no transgender ideology.
You asking the wrong one.
Either you're transgender or you're not. Is there like a whole
Right.
what is that? Is this a school of thought now? Is there like a whole school of thought, a transgender school of thought?
Right. I guess
I'm not aware of.
I guess if that's your belief system, it's not. I guess they're trying to say it's a belief system versus natural. I really don't know, to be honest with you.
So they could be a transgender and not actually be living their life as a female.
Or maybe the terminology for it until they're fully fully in the fully have completed the entire process of transforming into the opposite gender.
The way this is looking, I don't think that they were ever going to do that. I think this is a whole thought process.
Right, a whole thought process. But my thing is, then that would I mean, does that deem it under mental illness? I'm not being funny.
No, I don't know. No, I think this is like just like they have the rationalist movement. I think there's a whole thing called the transgender ideology. Like it's a movement. Like
yeah.
They get together and then they say, "Well, I think I'm trans." You know, there's probably like some documentation. It's like,
but isn't that I mean, not to be funny,
like
isn't
a
that
school
kind
of thought, like a transgender school, where maybe like we're all transgender, really. And,
right?
maybe
We just haven't come to terms with it or something. But no, I'm just my thought process with that was, is this any different than like a Caucasian person identifying as African American? Because their ideology is they are African. You know what I mean? They've taken on the culture. You know what I mean? They may dress the part or maybe speak.
right. Maybe
You know
that's
what
what
I'm
it
saying?
is.
Like,
But I don't think that they were dressing like the imagery in the pictures I see. It doesn't like they've like tried to transition, themselves to look more feminine or to be like a woman. It seems to me like they're just I'm transgender and address me as she, but I'm gonna still like identify. I'm gonna still use my name Jack.
For me, honestly, to be honest with you, for me, the whole trying to make sense of, and I'm not saying for you, I'm saying for this person speaking, or for anyone that has to try to make sense of the misgendering of this whole situation. To me, that's kind of you know, that's not really the important element of it, you know, because I mean, we need to get to the root of why are they just randomly hurting people or unaliving people. You know what I'm saying? Like we can we can figure out the gender stuff later. To me,
you know what's so crazy is because all of these ideologies might be the reason.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I wanted to the reason why I wanted to bring this particular case up when it came down to talking about that whole event over there is because they have the whole Trump ideology. There's an ideology. So when you have an ideology behind something, and people are like identifying as something as we are this and whatever, this is a cult. So I'm trying to outline and show the similarities between the two and show that this is a cult that's happening even over there in the get back to the land situation. The combining of all these, veganism, transgenderism, rationalism movement, nihilism, it seems like you just have like this whole group of people that are just overly gifted and mentally, just too smart for their own good.
Right.
Most transgender people I know are very highly intelligent. I've never met too many people that are transgender that weren't. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you combine that with also like being a computer scientist,
right?
You're working for NASA. You know what I'm saying? You're like on a whole another level of like, you're being AI game. He's created video games, all type of different stuff. So this is not like a regular.
Right.
He's a programmer. He creates video games. He uses AI. He programs AI.
Right. And
Could
again,
have been so much higher. Could have been so much more with his life than
right. It had to use his intellect for good. Like, and that's for me, that's where my thought pattern is going with that, because a lot of, not to be funny, a lot of serial unalivers, a lot of people that commit these mass acts. I mean, look at the young man, I forget his name. I don't even know why his name is slipping my mind. That just killed the CEO of United Healthcare. He graduated valedictorian of his high school. He graduated with high honors from the University of Pennsylvania. So a lot of people that that commit these acts, they're very bright. They're very smart. So I'm not taking that away from them, but I'm just like,
that's what I'm saying. So imagine this is like I'm trying to figure it. So let's look at this. Everybody that's in that camp seem like they're very intelligent, even though they look kind of crazy. They seem to have like some wherewithal sense about them, right? Let's go. This is really tied to involuntary cell.
Right, Luigi Mangione. I don't even know why I slipped my mind.
The incel movement. You know what I'm saying? Like, so say if they're an incel, and then they just say, you know what, I'm a transgender. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I'm like, are they hiding behind the guise of the LGBTQ plus community to try to get some type of defense? Because now at this point, to me, it's giving mental illness. Because now you're being manipulative with the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's what it seemed like, that they're manipulating the situation,
right,
in order to be able to get the benefits of that.
Right, to fit them all what they want.
So a fish in the water. Come on now.
Well, yeah.
Minded individual named Gwen Danielson. On July 5, 2017, Jack, Gwen, and another individual purchased a 94-foot tugboat in Ketchikan, Alaska, and recruited a crew to make a voyage to California. Many of these crew members shared Jack's belief system. One could argue that they were his followers. On July 8, the tugboat arrived in Pillar Point Harbor in Half Moon Bay, California.
Was this the tugboat? That's the thing. They always have the raggediest shit and be trying to have a group and stuff. That's another thing. Be having raggedy stuff. Just like that piece of land is raggedy as hell. So now they got this raggedy tugboat. See, there's similarities in this whole thing. The tugboat they were on. What in the world was going on with these people?
They vegan, so they don't need nothing to cook meat on, I guess. I don't know.
What in the world?
I don't know. I guess they go.
Well, they said it was spilling out oil and all kind of wild stuff into the water.
But I thought they wanted to protect the animals. See, now they
right. Well, yeah, they ain't protecting the fish in the water. Come on now.
Well, yeah. Okay.
The idea was that Jack and his followers would live affordably aboard this tugboat, which had been built in 1945 and was in disrepair.
Bro, what? Come on now. It's given homeless. It's given really smart homeless people from San Francisco. Because San Francisco, you could be homeless if you just I mean, you miss one paycheck, that on a $300,000 a year check, you're homeless. Because you know what I'm saying? It's so high to live there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's the same thing for
Not
New York.
surprisingly, Jack's master plan did not work out too well. The tugboat leaked oil into the harbor, and the 3 owners were sued by the government. The Coast Guard proclaimed that the boat was an imminent threat to the public health. In response, Jack and his followers started living in box trucks in the harbor parking lot. At some point, the group met a man named Curtis Lind. He had a boat in the harbor as well. Eventually, Curtis sold it and moved to a trailer yard on Lemon Street in Vallejo. This is 54 miles north of the harbor.
It's giving homeless people. Come on. So let's do the optics of the areas that these people are living in. It's giving very intelligent, highly smart people in California that are living homeless, you know what I'm saying? But then very smart at the same time. I would not be surprised if there's some drugs involved.
I wouldn't be surprised if they and I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they receive like some type of like, you know, government funds and loans. They seem very intelligent. They seem, you know what I mean, they may know their way around the system and things like that to get, you know what I mean, to get funds to help fund this situation, what they got going on.
So these people are living in these things right here. They're living, you know, in the, you know, let me get this land and I'll get some RVs and we'll just live in these little. I'll get inside this truck right here and live in the back of that. You know what I'm saying? I'll get into the RV and you get into the box truck and you stay in the barn over here. You know, everybody's kind of just like living in this kind of area. You know, this is crazy. Wow.
About 6 to 8 of the group members, including Jack and Gwen, rented 2 RVs in his trailer yard, as well as the option to park 6 trucks. Curtis was charging them $2,000 a month.
What? Charge them $2,000 a month, y'all. That's what I'm saying. These are $2,000 a month to park an RV in a junkyard. That's what that looks like.
Right, but but again, they want to, they have to stay like, they're basically paying for privacy to be, you know what I'm saying, to be able to do what they, you know what I'm saying, to do what they're doing. I'm pretty sure they pay.
Boat in the harbor. The authorities removed hazardous fluids from the boat, and it was chained to a 3,000-pound concrete block in 14 feet of water. The boat started sinking not long after this. The harbor district managers estimate it will cost $2 million to remove the vessel from the harbor. Jack started refining his belief system and transformed into an alleged cult leader using the name Ziz. His followers are referred to as Zizians. He appeared to be inspired by the rationalist scene at Berkeley. Jack started posting bizarre philosophical content on a blog. For example, he had this theory that the hemispheres of the brain can hold separate genders and values, which often desire to kill each other. He believed reaching...
Okay. I told you it was it's not just a regular being a transgender. This is like an ideology that he's come up with of a thought of transgenderism, not like that's a person. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They got a good deal on it. They paying to be off the grid. Okay. Hey, what's up, Scam Chan? But so you see what I'm saying? So it's the ideology of transgenderism, not so much being a real transgender. Because like I said, everybody that's following him, they're not like actually living their lives trying to transition into the sex that they feel like they are. It's just the ideology of that of that we're both whatever what he's talking about the hemispheres of the brain and they want to kill each other or whatever.
Right.
You know, and of course violence is involved. He sounds like he's got some. He's so smart. He's probably a genius. I also was told that they were also a neurodivergent, a little bit of ADHD, a little bit of autism and stuff like that, and mixed in. So, and this is the same thing that I'm seeing in the cult that is over there in Arkansas. You're seeing like a little level of neurodivergence going on there too. That's what I'm saying. I am predicting that there's going to be something similar to this happening with that group. I'm going to predict that. I'm not going to say nothing else, but I predict there's going to be some kind of strange accident that happens. Maybe someone passes away, maybe the children, something's going to happen. And y'all mark my words. Yeah, let's go.
Peace between hemispheres was a tricky process of repeatedly reconstructing frames of game and decision theory. In 2018, Jack joined an apprenticeship program run by the Machine Intelligence Research Institute and the Center for Applied Rationality. Ultimately, he manipulated some of the members to join him as Zizians in his own offshoot of the rationalist movement. Now moving to the timeline of the crimes. On November 19, 2019, the Center for Applied Rationality hosted a retreat on a 200-acre property called the Westminster Woods Camp. This is 17 miles west of Santa Rosa, California. Jack and 3 of his followers, Wen Danielson, Alexander Leatham, and Emma Burhanian, arrived at the retreat. They blocked the exits and accused the group hosting the retreat of betraying them. The police were called and arrested Jack and his followers.
I just want y'all to take a look at this picture. This sounds like complete madness. Like these people seem like
looks
they
crazy
are,
right there. It looks nuts.
They might. I don't know. It's just,
and I want to pause on that. It looks nuts. And when I say nuts, I mean nuts.
in the membrane, bro. Bro,
I mean,
how do you
all of them niggas got nuts.
They got nuts and they love nuts. Child, look at this. The level of just being, I don't know. They look scary. I would not want to meet them in a dark room. I'm sorry.
They were charged with conspiracy, obstructing an officer, and wearing a mask for an unlawful purpose. The police said that the 4 alleged offenders would not speak coherently or cooperate. As the case moved through the legal system, the group had trouble finding attorneys because they only wanted vegans. On November 15, 2021, about 2 years after the incident, the 4 alleged offenders filed a federal lawsuit against Westminster Woods, the police, and others, making numerous claims. For example, they were allegedly mocked for being transgender, injured, and wrongfully arrested. Later, the lawsuit was dismissed when the plaintiffs.
So you see, so they're using transgenderism as a thing to create like problems within,
right? Right. That's what I was saying. They're hiding behind.
Right. Okay. I've never ever known a trans person who thought it had anything to do with hemispheres of their brains.
Right. That's what I thought. I thought, not to be funny, I thought Lady Gaga born this way. I thought that's how you felt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being funny again. I'm not.
That's who you are.
Right. That's who you are. That's how you naturally feel. They always say I felt outside of my body. Always felt like I was in the wrong body. I've heard stuff like that, but I don't get where you just grow up your whole life and then go, I'm transgender, so now I feel like orphan people. I don't know how.
No. You know what? I thought about it, and I got this new ideology based on the hemispheres of the brain.
Right.
That we're transgendered. Everybody's transgendered.
Right. What's up, Steph? What's popping?
Or maybe certain people. I don't. I'm confused.
I'm telling you, it's all a bluff to me. It's all they're hiding behind the guys, and they're trying to use the LGBT plus Q plus community to carry out their agenda. In my opinion.
Yeah. It's like, okay, let's go in here and create all this drama at this event about rationalism,
right?
And then blame, then try to say, oh, look at you're treating us bad because we're LGBT,
right? Yeah, but who am I?
Right.
That's crazy enough itself. I'm just like, this is not even making. I can't even make sense of this. Like, and then you throw in on transgender ideology on top of it,
bro. And then you look like this, like, oh my God, like,
that's what I'm saying. And it's given. And I'm sorry, that third one.
I look at that picture and it looked like methamphetamines. That's all that shit looked like.
It like methamphetamine, not transgenderism, methism. Okay, come on now. Let's go.
Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
And I'm like, I've never known no transgender woman looking like that. I'm sorry. Most transgender,
come on, that's
women, they gonna be to the 9. They gonna make sure that they looking. I mean, come on now, they gonna be to the 9. I'm sorry, they're not gonna be out here looking like that. You know
right. Even when they take not to even be funny, even when they take their mugshot, they try to put it together and make it look like a little something. That right there is giving meth. I'm sorry. Steph said, "Do not use us." I hear you, Steph. Steph said, "Don't even use my community for this foolishness." I get it. That's all. Like, that's like saying I identify as black and I'm just going on a whole spree. It's a whole violent spree. No, Genesis. I don't know these people, but I don't like them.
But listen, they left the whole tugboat in the harbor.
That's crazy.
It's gonna cost them how much $1 million to pull it out?
To get that out. That's
and I thought that they were vegans and loved the.
And then you messing up the ocean.
Later, the lawsuit was dismissed when the plaintiffs stopped showing up for hearings. About 9 months later, there was a curious development in this story. On August 19, 2022, the Coast Guard in San Francisco Bay responded to a report that Jack fell off a boat. Emma and Jack's sister reported that Jack fell into the water at about 11 p.m. while working on a motor. The Coast Guard was unable to locate Jack. A few weeks later, even though there was no death certificate, an obituary was published in a newspaper in Fairbanks, Alaska, indicating that Jack had died in the boating incident. In reality, Jack was not dead. Later, Gwen allegedly faked.
Bro, people faking their deaths. Listen, you can't make this up. This is listen. All this stuff is going on, and this is recent. This stuff is really. They just caught some of these people like last week. This was in January of this going on. Like their trial is coming up and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not something that happened like a few years. This is happening now.
This is real time, and now
this happened like this January. So I don't even know if they found that guy or not. But yeah, let's go.
Is it now is it a transgender? It's given criminal enterprise.
Yeah, and
emergency and was taken to a hospital. Not even 2 months later, another serious crime would be connected to the Zizian cult. On January 2, 2023, a 72-year-old man named Richard Zacco.
You notice this all old people that this is happening to? There's something to this old people stuff that they're doing. They're attacking elderly people. That's another thing that's happening, and I think that's really sad.
And his 69-year-old wife, Rita, were found murdered in Chester Heights, Pennsylvania. This is in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, which is a county that borders the state of Delaware. The police determined that Richard and Rita had been shot in the head on December 31, 2022.
It's just random acts, randomly hurting people.
Trigger warning.
Yeah, trigger warning. And they're hurting elderly people. And how are you going to be a vegan? And the whole thing is just a.
Hold him to take his picture. Her daughter Michelle in a hotel room near the Philadelphia International Airport. The police found Jack Lasota. He pretended that he was dead. Even in his mugshot, Jack kept up a charade. Officers had to hold him to take his picture. Jack was charged with obstruction and disorderly conduct, both misdemeanors. He was released on bail in June 2023.
Do you hear how they keep releasing this nigga? This is why I wanted to play this all the way through.
And he looked dead.
You understand what
shit looked like a picture from the fucking morgue.
No, he pretended like he was dead after some more bullshit happened, but then they released his ass. They killed more people. They released him.
County, Pennsylvania, which is a county that borders the state of Delaware. The police determined that Richard and Rita had been shot in the head on December 31, 2022.
It's just determined that he got shot in the head, and then they found him and then released his ass. After they found out, they know he didn't. He pretended like he did, and then he said he was dead. He has a death certificate. And they let him go on like misdemeanor charges. Like this is the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, so I'm trying to tell y'all is that when this, because they're trying to expand this call across the country. So y'all like, please do not like take what I'm saying lightly. These motherfuckers are gonna try to like get land all over the country, and they got people that's joining them. And it reeks of a cult, and just be careful. Watch random acts, randomly hurting people.
Trigger warning.
Yeah, trigger warning. And they're hurting elderly people. And how are you going to be a vegan? And the whole thing is just a mess. And I think it is drugs involved. It has to be. There has to be drugs
Jack
involved.
Lasota. He pretended that he was dead. Even in his mugshot, Jack kept up the charade. Officers had to hold him to take his picture. Jack was charged with
Wait, sorry, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait, I didn't see. I think I skipped too far. But what in the world, bro? What is going
They
on?
had to hold this nigga.
Man, that's crazy. I don't mean to laugh, but this is getting crazy here.
That shit is hilarious.
New Year's Eve. While searching for their daughter Michelle in a hotel room near the Philadelphia International Airport, the police found Jack Lasota. He pretended that he was dead. Even in his mugshot, Jack kept up a charade. Officers had to hold him to take his picture. Jack was charged with obstruction and disorderly conduct, both misdemeanors. He was released on bail in June 2023. A warrant was issued for his arrest after he stopped showing up for court appearances. Now moving back to Curtis Lind. Again, he was the man who let the Zizian stay in his trailer yard. He was allegedly attacked by 3 of the members.
Wait. He was trying to act like he was dead in the photo.
Curtis Lind was attacked again on the same property. On January 17, 2025, he was stabbed and
This was he faked his death. He faked his death. Then, when the police found him in the hotel room, he pretended like he was dead.
He tried to act like he was dead. They had to hold that nigga face up and shit for the camera. He's acting like he was dead. Like, I'm dead.
Literally, like he literally had to hold his ass.
I'm not here. I'm dead. I'm dead, bro.
County, Pennsylvania, which is a county that borders the state of Delaware. The police determined that Richard and Rita had been shot in the head on December 31, 2022.
It's just random acts, randomly hurting people.
You know what I'm about to say, right? You know what I'm about to say, right?
And they're what?
You know what I'm about to say, right? White people say it. White people say it.
Come on, hurting elderly people and
I'm dead.
And
I'm
how are you
dead.
going to be a vegan? And you
don't
the
see
whole
me.
thing
I'm
is
not
just
here.
a mess. They released
I'm not
it.
here. I'm dead.
They released it is drugs involved. It has to be. Watch this. There has to be drugs
Jack
involved.
Lasoda. He pretended that he was dead. Even in his mugshot,
That nigga said, white people say it. White people say it. I'm dead.
Bro, come on now. What is this? What are we doing?
No, I'm not alive, bro. I'm really not here, bro. I'm not here.
I'm dead. How are you booking me in? I'm dead.
He said, no, I'm dead, y'all. I'm dead. I'm trying to tell y'all I'm dead, man. Leave me alone.
He thought that shit was gonna work though. That's what's crazy. But it did work because the nigga got cut out.
Well, he could claim that he had a mental health disorder. That's what a lot of people try to do, man. They try to go for the mental health shit.
Well, watch what happened. They let him out on a misdemeanor. Watch this.
Jack kept up a charade. Officers had to hold him to take his picture. Jack was charged with
Sorry, hold on. He was charged with obstruction of justice and some other misdemeanor.
Wait. For acting dead?
I didn't see
for acting like he was dead?
Yeah, like obstruction.
I'm dead. I'm dead, y'all. I'm dead now. We're gonna charge you with fucking obstruction of justice now.
Man, if I'd have known you, I would have dead.
You're clearly not dead, bro. He's like, nah, look, the rigor mortis right here, bro. Right in my arm. Look, the rigor mortis.
My hand is freezing. It's just tripping. I think I skipped too far, but what the world, bro? What is going on? I don't mean to laugh, but this is getting crazy here. Come on now.
22, New Year's Eve. While searching for their daughter Michelle in a hotel room near the Philadelphia International Airport, the police found Jack Lasoda. He pretended that he was dead. Even in his mugshot, Jack kept up a charade. Officers had to hold him to take his picture. Jack was charged with obstruction and disorderly conduct, both misdemeanors. He was released on.
Honey, if I knew all I gotta do is pretend like I'm dead, you know how many people just pretend like you just play dead. You know what I'm saying? You get pulled over by the police, they tripping on just act like you just died. And then, obstruction and disorderly.
Bail in June 2023.
No,
after he...
Yo, all they had to do was punch him in the stomach and hit the fucking goddamn switch on the camera.
You already know it. They would have punched the shit out of a nigga. If a nigga
you ain't dead. You know what I'm saying? Tear the ribs up real quick.
They would have.
That nigga eyes would be wide open.
They would have whooped his ass. Come on now. If it was a black person, they would have just get on the ground.
You dead for real? We gonna make sure you dead.
Stopped showing up for court appearances. Now moving back to Curtis Lind. Again, he was the man who let the Zizian stay in his trailer yard. He was allegedly attacked by 3 of the members and killed one of them in self-defense. Over 2 years after this attack, Curtis Lind was attacked again on the same property. On January 17, 2025, he was stabbed and
This was just last month, you guys. Last month on the 17th. So this is not something that happened a long time ago. This is like last month, literally. They need a whole cable channel doing round the clock stories to get through all the salt line cults, and it would still take years to get all
Saltine
through.
cults.
So there's a saltine cults. Saltine cults. Oh man, this is okay.
His throat was cut. He did not survive. Curtis was set to testify against the 2 remaining alleged attackers in April 2025. Witnesses said the killer was a man with long black hair and wearing all black. Now we move to the other side of the country. 3 days after Curtis Lynn was murdered, another homicide occurred in the state of Vermont. On January 20, 2025, a woman named Teresa Youngblood and a man named Felix Bachhold were driving a blue 2015 Toyota Prius in Coventry. Both of these individuals had ties to the Zizian's leader, Jack Lasota. Teresa and Felix were being followed by law enforcement after a hotel employee made a report. The employee said that the couple was wearing black tactical style clothing and Teresa was carrying a pistol in a holster. Later, the police spotted Felix wrapping cell phones in aluminum foil. The police initiated a traffic stop to perform.
Why do you think he was wrapping cell phones in aluminum foil? What do you think that was going on with that?
Yo, sis, that nigga was like, he was like, why are you arresting me? I'm dead. I'm dead. I don't even exist.
Misdemeanor. That's it. No whooping ass.
I'm
nothing.
dead, bro.
Honey,
Leave me
ain't
alone.
No black person in the world could have pulled that bullshit off.
Word, nah, they would have shot you 5 times to make sure.
Tased you and everything.
But no, he said he was dead, so you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Well, so why you put 5 bullets in him? Because he said he was dead.
Right, he did already.
Sure he was dead.
Right. Oh, no, trying not to be tracked or whatever, trying to go off grid. So it sounds like they probably had did something wild too, trying to
An immigration check. Felix was from Germany. During the stop, Teresa opened fire, and Felix reached for a gun. At least one of the border agents returned fire. Felix and a border agent named David Milan were killed. Teresa was wounded. She was arrested and charged with intentional use of a deadly weapon while forcibly assaulting or interfering with federal law enforcement, and use or discharge of a firearm during and in relation to an assault with a deadly weapon. As it turns out, both Teresa and Felix had been carrying firearms, which had been purchased by Michelle Zacco. Again, Michelle's parents were mysteriously murdered in Pennsylvania on New Year's Eve, 2022.
You understand? So this is how involved and crazy this whole thing is, and they all have this kind of dark look in their eye too. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure if you notice how their eyes look. That is man.
After the border agent was killed, Michelle was named as a person of interest in the death of her parents.
Daddy,
now moving back to the other side of the country. On January 24, 2025, 4 days after the shooting.
They're all over the. They're all over the.
That is their nature.
And this only happened a month ago, y'all.
Okay.
In Vermont,
crazy
police arrested a man named Maximilian Snyder for murdering Curtis Lind in California. Just a few months earlier, Maximilian had applied for a marriage license. His bride-to-be was Teresa Youngblood, the woman arrested for killing a border agent in Vermont. At the time I'm making this video, Jack's whereabouts are unknown.
And being victims, this dude's face did not.
Go ahead.
Not a sad look. He was over there looking like he was like he enjoyed.
Well, you see how they look. You see how they look.
He
They all
was
got
drinking. Yeah, but we supposed to live with them. I'm good. I'm good. We all American. Oh, Queen 6'2". We all American. That's who you want to fuck with?
Hell no.
I do not know where Michelle is either.
Come on now. And do you notice that they're giving him? I never heard of some of these charges that they're giving. Unlawful thing about this episode. How do they? But I'm like, bro, what happened to resisting arrest? Blah blah blah. Why is it that they get these weird charges that you never heard of before and get let out the next day? No bond. They all have a bond.
They connected to somebody. Somebody knows who they are and got some
They
money.
worked at NASA, so maybe Elon Musk. I don't know. Let's go. You understand how crazy this is? These people are still at large, bro. They're still at large.
That's wild.
What do you think? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Sorry, my
Emil, you
computer's
talk.
going a bit slow. No, I'm telling you, this is giving criminal enterprise. They are using the LGBTQ plus community as a guise, as a mask. You know what I'm saying? As a form of protection. You know, maybe they think they're gonna, you know, maybe, and then a lot of criminals also, they do a lot of these acts for the fame and the notoriety of it. Maybe they think this.
You know what? Hold on. I want to get your opinion because I already played her thing. What do you think is going on here? Because I'm like, how in the hell were they? They didn't kill 6 people.
Yeah, I can't call it. I honestly can't call it because at the end of the day, they'll let these motherfuckers off and then turn around and call us motherfucking goddamn thugs and you know what I'm saying?
And why I was
And
so pissed because they're
yeah,
telling
no.
we're afraid of y'all black people killing y'all. Y'all kill us and y'all do this and we can't be. We're afraid of y'all, honey. Be afraid.
Look at the history of Europe. You know what I'm saying? During the Dark Ages, the technological advancements, the only technological advancements they made were freaking daggone torture devices. They were so obsessed with death and with killing. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to see that in the music, in heavy metal music in the 1980s and 1990s.
Yep.
Well, all they sang about was death. They love the serial killer. Look at Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter was based off of Ted Bundy, but they made him into an anti-hero where you actually liked Hannibal Lecter. Oh, I only killed the rude. I only kill the rude. Free range rude. To serve them up, cut their nipples off. Oh, yay! We love that guy. He's awesome. They love white America loves serial killers. They love it. They want to be it. That dude Brian Kohlberger, he thought he was going to be another Ted Bundy, but he was too stupid to cover his tracks. His DNA got found on the scene. 99.999 DNA on the what do you call it?
They probably just. Do you think it's like that? They think they're just too smart to get caught.
Yes,
Like,
a lot of them. And then if they do get caught, they believe that they're going to somehow get out of it because they feel like they have white privilege.
They're so narcissistic. They're very narcissistic.
Yeah, very narcissistic and sociopathic. Yes.
All right, listen.
Absolutely.
Paying in cash, and that's to stay off the grid. And remember, RVs, they go from they go state to state. You know what I'm saying? That's probably how they traveling.
No, they should. Yeah, he probably took the RV. No, I think I did see one of the RVs in the picture of the thing. So I think that I don't think that they did. I don't know.
Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this case is incredibly complex. One way to sum it up would be this. The transgender cult leader Jack LaSota is connected in some way to each of the major crimes in the story, but is not facing charges for any of those incidents. Again, he's only facing misdemeanor charges after being found in that Pennsylvania hotel.
Crazy. So all these people are killing people, but he's not getting charged. This is the cult shit. See, and that's the thing that we got to be careful of, because when this guy is starting to this whole thing with this return to Earth or whatever it is, they start to spread out along America. The main person is not going to be connected to anything that the other people do. Okay, so just be
right.
Pretending to be dead.
Pretending to be dead. That part is wild to me. What? Man.
Item number 2. Maximilian Snyder, the man accused of murdering Curtis Lind, released a manifesto. His mission is to end the human consumption of animals. He referred to the animals as his little brothers and sisters and implied that saving them was critical to the world.
So this is a helter-skelter thing. So he's off the old guy that owned the RV place because of his love for animals, and he felt like The animals are our friends.
Okay, so when he well like the whole human race, and what are the animals supposed to do?
I don't know, but the thing is that like so he did that and released the manifesto. So that seems to me, so that's like who do you think is going to be in that new cult that's going to be the one that loses? I think it's going to be that girl with the hat on. I don't know who you going to got it for. I think that girl with the hat on going to be the first one.
I can't even call it, yo, at this point because all of them look terrible. They all look like they out there killing people. Killing people and farting rainbows.
I think he's saying like to throw it.
Man, so I'm gonna stop it right here with this one. But the whole objective was to like just even talk about this whole
right. But somehow we're the animals. We're the animals.
Yeah.
Right?
So now it's not about like the PETA. It's about nigga. The nigga.
Yeah. See, we hate niggas, even though our own people fucking eat us and then fucking act like they're dead.
I think this is the one.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I. I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only, that they insist is completely legal. We spent several days with them, watching as the men set about the physical labour of building out the site. All the while, the women of the group took on the more typically trad, homesteading-type roles.
I guess I found the people through
not a seasoning on that motherfucker
project, actually spearheading it, and I went out to the first April event last year, and it was really fun.
The sort of white-only aspect of this, how important is that to you guys?
Given the premise that it's something that is kind of off limits for whites but is okay by implication for other groups, I do feel it's necessary to carve that out, and you kind of have to do it yourself.
It's kind of like if we don't do this, the laws are only getting worse as far as freedom of association goes, so it's kind of like we have to do this, or there might come a time where it's not possible to.
Are you guys aware sort of people are going to be watching, it's going to be controversial?
I think people just have a large misunderstanding of what's happening here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the biggest misunderstanding?
Well,
that we hate everyone else. Like,
yeah,
it's not
about
that.
Yeah,
by any means.
It's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter argument would be it could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black or if you're Jewish or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. And it's like if other people are allowed to do it, I don't really see why whites aren't allowed to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So it's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
The leader, Eric Orwell, wants the community to grow and further what he calls traditional white American culture. And the group is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivize population growth. Just before we arrived, they donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child.
Is that part of the mission as well, to sort of have big families, to make the community bigger? Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't feel particularly myself, I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you do want to as part of helping grow this thing.
I think she's gay. I don't even think she's being straight.
Funniest part about that whites only town in Arkansas, black folks ain't mad, and you're mad, we not mad. So there's a brand new whites only town in Arkansas, and the gag is black people don't even care. Now I've seen the comments. Aren't black people upset? Why are you mad about this? We gonna clear this up right now. Nobody's upset, Poopo. See, the one thing black people ain't gonna do is lose sleep over other people that want to create a safe space for themselves.
Right.
Build your own
Go ahead,
town,
T-Scott.
plant a flag, that's fine. Hang a welcome sign. Whatever makes you feel good. Honestly, we gotta be real about something, because I saw the interviews, I saw the clips. This ain't a town of exceptional people. I mean, think about it. If you drop everything to move to this town, you probably already didn't have much going on anyway, right?
Right,
And
you
that's
have
okay.
shit
That's
before.
facts. So the question is again, Why should black folks care? This is the part that cracks me up the most. Y'all want us to care. I see the confusion in your eyes. I see it. Y'all like, don't the blacks care? Don't they want to be where we are? Nah. We just want to make sure when we build our communities, we're not cheated out of the things that we're supposed to have. That's all we care about, boo. And it's wild because history has shown as soon as black people do build their own thriving spaces, what happens? Some of your people roll up and burn the whole thing down. But we're supposed to believe now y'all just want to be left alone. Child, I'm going to tell you what really gave it away for me, though. The fact that they ran to the media. That's not privacy, y'all. That's desperation. Numbers must be low. If you got to beg the evening news to let them know that you exist, waitlist my ass. See, if black folks were building their town, the media would be the last people that we want to know about it. We gatekeep. We ain't trying to broadcast. But y'all couldn't wait to hold a press conference. That's not security. That's thirst. So no, we're not upset. We're not jealous. We're not even plotting.
Here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org.
Because truth be told, we really don't care. And honestly, that's what really bothers y'all.
Now I'm gonna show you something real quick, and we're gonna really.
Oh God, though, she wasn't lying, and I don't give a fuck about them pasties.
We fixing
Yo, freckleback, pig face, pathological pasties. Y'all can have what the fuck y'all want. I don't give 2 cents. But what the fuck y'all do? Go ahead and kill each other for the next 2,000 to 3,000 years. That's what y'all been doing. And I don't give a fuck. Just leave us the fuck alone. How about them apples? Let us thrive. Yeah, watch that.
So let's go.
Of the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
Today marks the 30th anniversary of a massive police operation in Philadelphia that culminated in the helicopter bombing of the headquarters of a radical group known as MOVE. The fire from the attack incinerated 6 adults and 5 children and destroyed 65 homes. Despite 2 grand jury investigations and a commission finding the top officials were grossly negligent, no one from city government was criminally charged. Here is how the bombing was initially reported in Philadelphia on WCAU radio.
I've just been advised that we have new videotape of the episode that apparently ended, we think ended, the MOVE situation tonight, the dropping of an incendiary device. And let's take a careful look at this. 5:27 p.m. State Police helicopter drops it. There is the explosion. As you can see, a very dramatic explosion that occurs 30 seconds and really rips into the MOVE compound. There you see the bunker, which soon will go up in flames. And that was the explosion close up. Now, if there's anybody there, standing there, it's obvious they couldn't survive that explosion.
That was WCAU TV, actually. We saw some video there. MOVE was a Philadelphia-based radical movement dedicated to Black liberation and a back-to-nature lifestyle. It was founded by John Africa, and all its members took on the surname Africa. In 2010, Ramona Africa, the sole adult survivor of the attack, told Democracy Now! What happened as the bomb was dropped on her house.
In terms of the bombing, after being attacked the way we were, first with 4 deluge hoses by the fire department, and then tons of tear gas, and then being shot at, the police admit to shooting over 10,000 rounds of bullets at us in the first 90 minutes. There was a lull. You know, it was quiet for a little bit. And then, without any warning at all, 2 members of the Philadelphia Police Department's bomb squad got in a Pennsylvania State Police helicopter and flew over our home and dropped a satchel containing C4, a powerful military explosive that no municipal police department has. They had to get it from the federal government, from the FBI. And without any announcement or warning or anything, they dropped that bomb on the roof of our home.
That was Ramona Africa, the sole adult survivor of the attack on MOVE 30 years ago today. Today, a memorial will take place at the site of the bombing on Osage Avenue. Well, for more, we're joined in Philadelphia by Lynn Washington, award-winning journalist, former columnist for the Philadelphia Tribune, who's covered MOVE since 1975. He teaches journalism at Temple University. Both he and Juan were there that day covering MOVE, the MOVE bombing for the Philadelphia Daily News. We welcome you back to Democracy Now!, Lynn. Talk about that day, and Juan, too, your memories.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Juan. The one word that I would use to describe that day is surreal. To have witnessed police firing 10,000 bullets within a 90-minute period. The bullets were so intense that they were raining from the sky like hail. And then later in the afternoon to see a bomb dropped on a house occupied by children. And then the very callous decision of the authorities to let the fire burn was just unreal. It's a sight and a memory that I can't get out of my mind.
Well, Lynn, I remember it was a Mother's Day, 1985.
I also say this: we always talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma. Why don't we talk about this? Why don't nobody ever talk about this?
I do. I talk about Move all the time.
I always hear Tulsa. No one talks about Move.
And we were out there most of the day and saw that helicopter suddenly hover over the house and drop something. And I remember saying to you at the time, what's going on, until the explosion occurred. But the most fascinating thing, as you said, most people are not aware, is how long before, after the bomb dropped, before the firefighters even attempted to douse the flames that erupted.
It was almost an hour because we were sitting there on Cobbs Creek Parkway, and you and I were both talking, and actually talking to some of the firefighters as to why they weren't doing it. And the firefighters didn't know. What they were told was to not fight the fire, which is unbelievable. And we could watch, or actually we saw, the fire go from what looked like the beginning of a backyard barbecue grill fire to a blazing inferno. And we just literally watched it jump across the roof lines and also across the street. So by the time that the decision was finally made to fight the fire, it was a blazing inferno, and it was totally out of control.
And talk about who was in government, Juan, at the time. Who was the police commissioner? Who was the mayor? How did this bombing take place? The police bombed not just the Move house, ended up burning down 2 blocks, city blocks in Philadelphia.
Because they didn't fight the fire, and it spread and destroyed the entire, square block area. But obviously, the mayor at the time, Lynn, was Wilson Good, the first African-American mayor of the city. And the commission report later indicated that Good really wasn't in control of the situation. It was the police commissioner and the fire commissioner.
So Rizzo entirely?
No, it wasn't Rizzo.
What the hell is the damn mayor not in control until the what?
Who was the police commissioner? I didn't so long ago, I've forgotten.
The police commissioner at the the police commissioner at the time was a guy named Gregor Sambor, and Mayor Good appointed him because they were trying to purge the department in some way of the influence of Frank Rizzo, who had been the police commissioner and then the mayor during the 70s when police brutality reached epidemic levels in Philadelphia. One of the things that kids lost in all of this is that, yes, there was this horrific bombing in the middle of May 13th, the day after Mother's Day in 1985. But actually a few days before the bombing, Sambor had ordered an anti-drug sweep that ended up arresting hundreds of people who were innocent, had nothing to do with drugs. The city ended up paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to settle that. And 2 weeks later, there was a dragnet in a Hispanic neighborhood where they were arresting people from 6 to 65 years old in an investigation involving the death of a police officer. And that death was initially reported as a domestic dispute between a police officer, another police officer, and a policewoman who was married to one of the police officers.
I want to go back to Ramona Africa, the sole adult survivor of the attack, describing what happened after the bomb was dropped on her house.
And without any announcement or warning or anything, they dropped that bomb on the roof of our home. Now, at that point, we didn't know exactly what they had done. We heard the loud explosion. The house kind of shook, but it never entered my mind that they dropped a bomb on us. But the bomb did, in fact, ignite a fire. And not long after that, it got very, very hot in the house, and the smoke was getting thicker. At first, we thought it was tear gas, but as it got thicker, it became clear that this wasn't tear gas, that this was something else. And then we could hear the trees outside of our house crackling and realized that our home was on fire. And we immediately tried to get our children, our animals, our dogs and cats, and ourselves out of that blazing inferno.
Africa's sole adult survivor of the attack. So talk about who died, Lynn, how people tried to escape and what happened.
Yes, inside the house were at that point 5 children aged 7 to 13 years old. They perished along with 6 adults. One of the 6 adults was the founder of the MOVE organization, John Africa. A number of MOVE members tried to escape, and as you've indicated, Ramona was the sole surviving adult. There was a child named Birdie Africa who later became Michael Ward. They were able to escape. When they were coming out, we heard gunfire. And it was later determined that police fired on the escaping MOVE members, driving some of them back into the house. But in the convoluted logic that many of us have seen over the last year from grand juries in St. Louis County and in New York and in southern Ohio, where the guy was shot in a Walmart, the grand jury, under the control of Philadelphia prosecutors, determined that MOVE members ran back into the house not because police were firing at them, but because they mistakenly believed that police were firing at them crime, and or they ran back to intentionally commit suicide.
And Lynn, what were the main conclusions of the MOVE commission that was established subsequent to that tragedy?
Well, the MOVE Commission, which was a panel that the Mayor Good had set up to investigate it, but had no power to do anything other than make recommendations, found monumental incompetence on the part of all city officials, from the mayor through the managing director to the police director, or should I say the police commissioner. One of the findings, though, I think one of the most prominent findings was that the deaths of those children were unjustified homicides, and they recommended a criminal investigation and also charges to be brought. The grand jury determined that they were not unjustified homicides, that the deaths were as a result of this proposed or presumed suicide, and they came to many startling conclusions, one of which was the bomb that was dropped on the children. There was no illegality there because the force of the bomb only applied to the adults in the house, as if the bomb could blow up and the fire could burn and it wouldn't impact the children. It was absolutely ridiculous, but it's the kind of convoluted reasoning we see too often with grand juries involving issues of police abuse.
I wanted to turn to imprisoned journalist Mumia Abu-Jamal, who's being held at FCI Mahanoy. He reported extensively on MOVE before he was convicted of killing a police officer, a crime he says he did not commit. Last month, he recorded a new essay for the 30th anniversary of the MOVE bombing from prison.
May 13th at 30. Why should we care what happened on May 13th, 1985? I mean, seriously. That was 30 years ago, a long time ago, way back when. Know what I mean? Most people won't say that, but they think that. Why indeed? I'll tell you why. Because what happened then is a harbinger of what's happening now all across America. I don't mean bombing people, not yet that is. I mean the visceral hatreds and violent contempt once held for MOVE is now visited upon average people, not just radicals and revolutionaries like MOVE. In May 1985, police officials justified the vicious attacks on MOVE children by saying they too were combatants. In Ferguson, Missouri, as police and National Guard confronted citizens, guess how cops described them in their own files? Enemies. Enemy combatants, anyone? Then look at 12-year-old Tamir Rice of Cleveland. Boys, men, girls, women. It doesn't matter. When many people stood in silence, or worse, in bitter acquiescence to the bombing, shooting, and carnage of May 13, 1985 upon MOVE, they opened the door to the ugliness of today's police terrorism from coast to coast. There is a direct line from then to now. May 13, 1985 led to the eerie RoboCop present. If it had been justly and widely condemned then, there would be no now, no Ferguson, no South Carolina, no Los Angeles, no Baltimore. The barbaric police bombing of May 13th, 1985, and the whitewash of the murders of 11 MOVE men, women, and children opened a door that still has not been closed. We are today living with those consequences. From Imprisoned Nation, this is Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Mumia Abu-Jamal recorded that commentary in prison. Last night, a prison nurse called Abu-Jamal's wife and told her he'd been moved to the hospital for a second time this year. His supporters say they're concerned he had a fever and open wounds and sores on his leg. That does it for our show on this 30th anniversary of the MOVE bombing. Thanks so much to Lynn Washington in Philadelphia. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez for another.
Wow. Thoughts, Zion? You there? Well, I'll say this: is it? Cause I don't know if Zion can hear me. I think that we need to, and I please go and check my other video out. I spent 4 hours on it. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was starting to doze off, but yeah.
Go ahead.
Now I was saying I was starting to doze off a little bit. You know, I'm getting old now. I'm turning 51 this month, so you know what I'm saying. I'm listening, but
So, what are your thoughts on that expose about that?
About the LGBTQ nut basket?
No, about the MOVE situation.
Oh, of course. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, You know, they pinpointed a prominent black empowerment organization, and still to this day they haven't done anything against. You know, there's no RICO charges against the Ku Klux Klan or any other white supremacist organization. They don't. They protect themselves, and they throw us under the bus and try to make us look like animals. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, they over here killing each other's children and shit. So I ain't got shit to say to me, man. You know what I'm saying? These pathological pasties, and I'm not racist when I say that. I'm talking about the pathological pasties. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they're psycho, yo. Fucking out of it. They are totally fucking nuts. You know, and they justify the dehumanization and mistreatment of people of color all of the time, and think that no, listen, let's define what an invasive species is, what a parasitic organism is by definition, and y'all will fix your face. Y'all will fix your fucking face.
A group of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozark Hills for white people only, and it's called Return to the Land. It was set up in 2023 by two men named Eric Orwell and Peter Cizer, and it explicitly bans.
You know, the part, you know, I'm sorry, I had to say this. They think that they're doing something new, and they're not.
Right, but then you got some people who, you know, let's go after the Africans and the Mexicans because they don't belong here. We gotta stay here with these motherfucking crackers who eat each other. Well, get out of here. This ain't your country. Come on, nigga.
I mean, it is a movie
Coonin.
As soon as that dude start withdrawing off of whatever amphetamine he on, and
right, he gonna be ready to eat somebody's face off.
As soon as she run out of her, like whatever mental drug she's on, I think she's got schizophrenia.
Right, so she probably got schizophrenia.
She's on some kind of a drug, like got her spaced out. She runs out of psychological medicines, and that guy runs out his.
Yep, and they're gonna be eating somebody, and then they're gonna turn around and get off of the charges because, oh, I wasn't in my right mind. I'm mentally ill.
How are the police gonna get there? Can the police come onto their land and enforce the law, or are you gonna say, well, this is private property?
No. The law states that if somebody has a mental defect, that they cannot be held accountable for a crime because they're not mentally well, and so therefore they're not culpable for the crime because they have a mental illness.
Well, no,
that's how people go.
They're up in the mountains, right? So that means that that's their private property. So the police would have to go onto their private property to even deal with anything going on within that private property.
Yeah, well, if there's probable cause, like there's murders and stuff, they can do that. They can go up there. You know what I'm saying? There's probable cause. You know what I'm saying? Search through all their shit. That's how do you think that they got the dude's manifesto?
Yeah.
He probably didn't give it to them. You know what I'm saying? They probably got it because they were able to freaking daggone search his shit. You know? Nowadays, you got to be careful. All of these niggas think that they can get away with crimes. You're leaving a digital trail. You know what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot you can get away with nowadays. But I guess if you got a little the complexion for protection, you can get around certain shit by just claiming you have a mental health disorder. But that don't fly for black people like that, you know? So, yeah.
I'm going to play a few of these videos with these white people responding about this because I did tell about, you know what, I'm going to do this. I did the white people on the last video. I'm going to go with the black people this time. I'm going to play what the black people's responses were and then leave it at that. So,
All right. I'm here.
All right. Let's see. Okay, let's go.
So weird watching black people get mad.
Right. So let's hear. In their mind, we're mad about it. We're not, but let's go.
So weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
Who's mad? They're ready to help you pack your bags.
A whites only community sounds amazing. If you don't want to be near us, then by all means, go to Arkansas and build that land.
And I want y'all to know that I don't care.
I see more white folks worried about that white only town than black folks. It's only town in Arkansas. Did y'all see they're building that white only town? What are we going to do? Nothing. We're not going to do a damn thing.
I immediately was like, man, that's great. Like, do that.
We're gonna only eat all white food like El Taco Tuesdays?
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Apparently,
So by now, we've all probably heard about the group of people who started an all-white community right outside of Missouri that is thinking about expanding. And I want y'all to know that I don't care. I cannot express enough from the bottom of my heart, from the depths of my soul, how much I do not care. In fact, I encourage it, because the folks who think like that should be in one community together. It is safer for everyone else if they're not around us. And that's the difference between groups like that and black folks. I've never understood why people had a problem with black people existing in spaces that are safe for us, like HBCUs or other black places for black people to congregate. And that's outside of the fact that white folks don't need safe spaces to congregate, because every space is literally a safe space for them. I think they should go for it. Couldn't think of a better idea myself. Now, what I will say is I think it's a little ironic that Trump and his friends don't have anything to say about this. I find it odd that the White House hasn't put out a statement talking about revoking money or funding from somebody because of this. Could just be me, but whatever.
So guys, actually, when I saw black people laughing at the news, I understood what they mean. Actually, let me explain. They were saying like, no problem. We don't care. You can build your own town. We are not angry about that. We are just like living our life.
So we've all heard about this whites only town that's being formed in Arkansas, you know, the return to the land people. I'm trying to figure out why y'all think that's like something new and something like shocking for the rest of us. Because we all know about Harrison, Arkansas, right? We all know Harrison, Arkansas is the home of the KKK. And I'm pretty sure most people of color, even though there may be like a very low percentage, I would say maybe about 1% of that entire town might be people of color. But everybody knows you don't stay in Harrison after the sun goes down. Like, that's a real thing. People of color know you drive through Harrison and you do your best not to stop. So like you fill up with gas before you get to Harrison so you can just make a straight shot through Harrison. But anyway, the fact that they're saying that only people with pure European heritage, nobody in the LGBTQIA community is allowed. And they're going to make people take DNA tests to prove their European heritage. I'm just here to say that I think most of the people who look like me and some other people that are, you know, melanated, we don't give a damn. We don't care. We love this for you. The only thing that we ask is when this is not necessarily a success, don't come over there and try to burn the rest of our shit down. You know, like how y'all did. You know, like with Rosewood and the Tulsa massacre. You know what I'm saying? Stay over there.
Guys, people expected sadness and fear. Instead, they celebrated. This is like saying, you know what? We know our value. We know who we are. We don't depend on anyone.
The folks building up that white-only community in Missouri are very funny, because if you know your history, you'll realize that it's going to collapse upon itself. It's going to fail. And I really feel like they're going to notice that it's failing whenever Becky's trying to make burrito tacos and she's really fucking it up. And they'll find somebody else to blame at the end of the day, because these people have insane egos and are just extremely racist. Like the thought of maybe my ignorance and my stupidity led to this failure is too much for them. They can't compute it, because for centuries they've been telling themselves that they're better than because of the color of their skin, because they're white, they're pure, they're God's gift to earth. You know what I mean? And their whole existence depends upon having their ego stroked by society. And if you don't stroke their ego, they're going to lash out. They're going to wall out. Like, and it's because they don't have any kind of culture. They don't have anything to really cling to besides whiteness, because a lot of white people have lost their culture as a result of coming over here from Europe. And because they lost their culture, lost their heritage, they're always trying to infiltrate Black and brown communities and take what they can and bring it back to them. You know what I mean? Because it's like they see that our communities are built on love and care for one another. And white supremacy doesn't allow for that.
It's so weird watching Black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
Who's mad? Which one of our misguided cousins is upset about this? Please tag me in the video, because all the videos I've seen on this topic, there's been nothing but joy and amusement. You know, the Blacks, they're ready to help you pack your bags. Do not understand, you're doing us a favor, and not just Black people, society. Identify yourself as a dumb fuck. You separate yourself from the civilized folk. You try to make it work amongst your Neanderthal brethren. What is there for anyone to be upset about? Who's gonna miss the racists? We've been trying to weed you out of society for a very long time. Fuck, you need a housewarming present, girl? I can throw in for a blender, maybe a waffle iron. No one's gonna miss you, girl. And I mean no one, not a one.
Did you see the video where this guy said they're putting up whites only signs at establishments in Missouri? But then I saw another video about it and people were pissed. And I'm like, why? You have a problem with it because it's in your face and it's not behind closed doors. But that's the very establishment that you're spending your money with. I immediately was like, man, that's great. Like, do that. This is not the 1800s. There is so much available to us out there to where I don't want to spend my money or patron any establishment that don't want me there. I don't want my children walking into an establishment where the cops get called on them because they got to cuss out and go off on somebody who's a racist. When they put that sign up, their business is going to fold. And now your racist ass ways is hurting your pockets, which makes me happy. That's like me going to that club that be turned up with all those theater kids singing musicals, but then I bring my friend who only like trap music. Nobody asked you to come. We told you ahead of time what it was, so why are you here? We are now a society of people that protect our peace. And if you don't want us around you, go hang out with your buddies. We don't care.
So guys, listen up. No one is angry. No one is hurting. Actually, Black people are saying if we are not wanted, you're not needed. So
I'm gonna play one last video before I log off on this.
All right, yeah, I gotta slide over to Shawnee channel.
All right, I'm gonna play this one last video. Tell me what you think about this, and then we're gonna end it.
Oh, love to hold me.
Person said something to me the other day that shocked me. Not really, but it kind of did, coming from this individual, because they were actually being honest. Usually all they do is gaslight and bullshit, but they actually had a breakdown and had an honest moment. When we were talking about race in America, she said, I don't think Black people deserve equality and justice because they could never get enough. And I realized for the first time I've ever talked to this person about race, she was actually being brutally honest. And I also realized this is the psyche of white America. Not all, but for the majority. Most of white America have always been scared of Black and brown folks getting justice, getting equality, getting what's fair, because they want to hold and cling on to white supremacy so dearly, that system that protects their privilege, that dominant hierarchy position of whiteness. That being said, I'm going to say something and I want you to let it set. I just want you to sit with it. Let it settle into your consciousness. Just let it set with you for a while before you get into your feelings, into your denial, into your ignorance, into your delusion racially. Just let it set and listen. Until we fix white supremacy, everything we do as a nation will fail. Why does America keep voting against its own self-interest? Why do we continue to do things that undermine our very well-being? White supremacy is the living, festering cancer, devouring our nation from the inside out. It's the toxic force behind every backward policy. The exact reason we're so stunned and shamefully far behind other developed nations. White supremacy, the very thing white America claims to despise, yet simultaneously denies, gaslights about, actively avoids, and utterly ignores, all while perpetrating racism. The reason this country keeps voting against its own damn self-interest, the reason we consistently shoot ourselves in the foot is brutally simple. Pure terrified fear of a Black and brown nation. Fact. This isn't new. This isn't just about today. This is history's cruelest loop. We love white supremacy. We embrace slavery. We clung to Jim Crow. We have always chosen to poison our own wells rather than allow an ounce of equality. This obsession breeds internal hate, forces us into a blind, ignorant delusion. It has weaponized us against each other, white against white, race against race, culture against culture. This is the profound damage to your psyche, your society. We'd rather bleed our own nation dry, sacrifice our cities, our health, our economy, our global credibility, than loosen one pathetic finger from white privilege. You thought you could weaponize white supremacy to justify your own greed, to hoard power. All you've done is destroy yourselves and your own fucking nation. Imagine a nation so diseased by racism, so desperate to cling to its twisted sense of white superiority. It would rather self-destruct, rip apart its own democracy and watch its citizens suffer and die. That nation is America. Face the ugly fucking truth. Look at what we've done. Cutting Medicaid, slashing SNAP, sacrificing the vulnerable for billionaire tax breaks, abandoning humanitarian aid, annihilating our global standing, our very morality, actively suppressing votes, tearing down our democracy, building the world's largest prison system, shattering families, all because of the white man's greatest, most pathetic fear that black and brown people might actually be treated fairly. Our air is poisoned, our infrastructure is collapsing, our schools are failing, all because we'd rather cling to archaic racist structures that build a decent, functional society for ourselves. Understand this. We aren't just hurting black and brown communities. No. We are actively killing ourselves as a nation. Our racism has so corrupted us, we'd choose a pedophile felon to run the country simply because he was a racist strongman. We are willingly plunging into fascism, sacrificing our fundamental liberties and economic equality, all because we choose white supremacy over freedom. Every damn bit of it for the sake of the ignorant, hateful disease festering in our hearts. So white America, hear this. Stop being cowards. Look into the fucking mirror. This cancer of white supremacy is consuming us. If you don't tear it down, if you don't confront this fear, you will watch this nation die. Your nation, our nation. The time for denial is over. The time to choose is now. I'll say it again. Until we fix white supremacy, everything we do as a nation will fail. Fact. You know, a white person said something.
All right. So that is the end of our show today. Thank you so much. Any last words, Zion? You want to say any last words?
Nah, there's nothing I can say behind that. That was official tissue.
All right.
Official tissue. You know what I'm saying? Every word that was just said.
Much love, guys. Listen, make sure that you guys hit the Cash App or like and subscribe, or hit the listen, because my YouTube make sure that you hit the all notifications bell, because YouTube has been like stealing my subscribers. So make sure that you really make sure that you let YouTube know that you want to hear this content. I appreciate everybody who stayed with us this whole time.
We're gonna come back with more white on white crime for y'all.
I
gonna do that
tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing the weekly legal review. Please come back to that at 2. Zion, hopefully you'll come.
Yeah, I'll pop in. Yep, you already know.
All right, much love, everybody.
I am blessed to make money, money making money, money making money, money making money, money making money, manifest making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. I ain't stressed, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. Gratitude is my attitude. I'm making money moves. Jewelry in the safe, piggy bank on food.